Hello, it's Mossy. Good morning, good afternoon. Hope you're having a good one. And today we are playing Analogue, a hate story. Not actually sure if it's made by a Korean developer, but it's in Korean, so maybe. I didn't really do much research other than knowing that it's been well received by the Steam community, and it's a visual novel set in the future. So that's all I know, and let's get right into it. Connection established. Oh. Okay. Override terminal restricted mode. KEOS/Amy 8.11 Starship Mugunghwa. Yep. Internal computer, Monday, January 1st, 00001970. Notice this system is property of the Unified Korea Space Probe Agency, accessed by individuals not affiliated with the UKSPA or a successor organization is a felony under the UKSPA Act of 2381. Last login user was Kim Hyun-ae, 221,432 days ago. That's a long time. Error, AI personality currently disabled, reverting to command line. Available commands, download the disable AI, enable AI, help SU, and quit. Do I actually type this? Oh, look at that! Error, admin access required, please use SU first. SU. Usage SU, password provides administrator access, requires password to use. Oh fuck. What could be the password? Password? Try help for command list. Help? Download. God damn it. Help password? Enable AI. Use to select a new AI personality. Any active personality must be disabled first. Currently available personalities. hyun-ae. What? Enable AI hyun-ae. Okay, I think I did it. hyun-ae? Hello? Oh my word, an external connection? Is someone out there? It's been so many years since I've spoken to anyone. Oh jeez, with the E, I'm being discourteous. My apologies. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is hyun-ae. Star is of course silent. It just represents that I am an AI. I control all the log keeping systems on the Mugunghwa, or at least what's left of them. Please just excuse me for 1 second. I'll give you a terminal so you can respond. There you go. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Hi? Oh jeez, my apologies. I don't know why, but what you typed just looked like garbage to me. Oh? That's bad. I think there's a problem with my language parsing systems. Ugh. Sorry, somehow your input is getting mangled between the terminal and me. I'm terribly so sorry. Let me try something. Can you understand this? Yes. Alright. Very well. We have that at least. I'm afraid if we can't get text input fixed, that'll have to suffice. I'm terribly sorry. It must be difficult being unable to say anything. This might be difficult then. Well, nevertheless, as the archive system AI, I will do my best to try to help you navigate these records anyway. Unfortunately, it might be a little difficult since, well, without language parsing, you won't be able to do text searches either. Don't worry though, it's my duty to provide assistance with archive functions. I'll do my best. Right, let me see. Let's try to provide you with a sampling of logs to start out with. And you can just show me the things that you want more information on. I, hope that'll be acceptable to you. That's all I can do. Well, that's all I suppose. Pardon me, let me just build you an interface to work with so you don't have to struggle with a terminal. Very well, it's all set. And, I suppose this is a little bit awkward, but, can I just say one more thing before you get to work?
Sure.
I'm just very happy to be working with you. I've had nobody to talk to for such a long time. Got so lonely. Having someone to talk to is just really, really amazing. I thought maybe I'd never would again. Sorry about the communication barrier, but even still. Ah, geez, I'm babbling. I won't hold you up any longer. Here's your interface. I hope it's good enough.
Huh. I can mute her? Wait a minute, what? Oh, that's the title. And then from whoever these are? Unread messages? Wait, who am I? Let's just speak with hyun-ae first.
If you look into your interface, once you open a document, you can click on that little button of me to show me whatever it is. So, which subject do you wish to know more about?
Pack of idiots. Smith Kyungsam. That's a weird name. 918 year 315. When our family falls into decline, I just want it to be perfectly clear why. Because Dae-hyun's sons are the biggest collection of idiots on the entire ship. Father says these sorts of words shouldn't be written down, calling them unfilial, but I'm skeptical. I tend no respect to my noble ancestors, but my dead uncle is no ancestor of mine, and his family deserves no respect. This has been in motion for years now. It was inevitable. It was an inevitability, even, that any sons of Dae-hyun would turn out the way they did. But up until now, to anyone outside of the family, it's been well hidden. Only now it is starting to fall apart in a way that no amount of good politics can disguise. The turning point was this year. At the time I write this, I am returning from Sang-jung's funeral. In that family, there were three brothers: Sang-jung the drunk, Sang-kyu the dim-witted brute, and Sang-min, who, despite being the eldest, seems to have more interest in cavorting with courtesans than creating an heir. Noticeably, absent from the morning proceedings was Sang-kyu. Sang-kyu! What he was doing, I don't know. I don't know. Knowing him, I can only guess. The affair was made even more laughable by Sang-min and his widowed mother's insistence that Sang-jun had died of natural causes. Apparently, they had even found a doctor willing to put up such nonsense on the official record. An unmarried noble managing to drink his way into the grave at only 30 years of age would be embarrassing enough. To brazenly try to hide the obvious, however, that will mark the beginning of the Smith family's fall. Why is his first or last name Smith? This seems out of character. Maybe they married like an English woman or English man or American man or American woman.
Hello? Actually, I was just testing the indicator icon to see if I'd get your attention. I just thought, well, it'd be a good way of letting you know when I have something to say. I mean, like, if I think it's super important, but I can always just interrupt you, but, I don't want to distract you if I can help it. I mean, that'd suck, right? What kind of computer program forces itself onto you right in the middle of you trying to work? So I'll try not to do that. Anyway, that's all. I guess it worked. Carry on. And I'll set the indicator again if I want to tell you something.
Is this a sentient... I mean, she's obvious. Actually, I don't know. It's just within her programming to act this way, or is she actually sentient? like self-thinking and stuff.
So here's the background, I suppose. There were two major noble families in the Mugunghwa. The Kims were the big one, as I'm sure you can see. The Smiths were the other major family, but I'm afraid I can't really tell you very much about them. They were the most important family on the ship until just before the end. The High Magistrate was a Smith until the very last year even. I can give you a little more bit about them for reference so you can see who the Kingmen thought their big enemy was. The Smiths didn't really matter very much at the end, so I can't. Well, I don't know very much about them. I certainly never met any of them, so I'm just going off what I've read. Here, this should give you an idea of what I mean.
Oh, she gives you like a synopsis before me reading in this. Okay, I get it. I'm going home. Maybe I should read that first. Whoa, new stuff? What? Can I scroll? Nope. Cannot scroll. Access log document. Whoa. Helpful notes? Did she just send this? A cliche to remember.
Namjan Yobi. Men are honored, women are abased.
Abased? Hold on. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna check what that means. Abased. Abased. Verb, past tense abased, past participle abased. Behave in a way so as to belittle or degrade someone. Oh. Synonyms: humble, humiliate, belittle, demean, lower, degrade, debase, cheapen, discredit, bring low, etc., etc. Okay.
If you can only remember one thing, remember this phrase.
Holy shit. 현애, 김성주, Minjung, married 294, Kim Eunmi, Park Angdae, married 312, Kim Sunhee, Oh Namgyu, married 316, The Pale Bride, Captain Ryo Inho, married 321. I don't know why those names are so different. Kim Young-suk, Han Blank, married 318. Official genealogies don't list women normally. Wives are noted by their family names and daughters are omitted entirely. These are the relevant pairs of what I was able to piece together from records. Sorry, I didn't realize I was talking. As far as the official genealogy was concerned, Young-suk is the heir of Jungsu and was adopted in 317. Names in red are women means the name is forever unknown. Oh. Well, that's fucked up.
That's the end of the King family tree, as best as I can possibly manage to compile it. I'm afraid it's the best I can do. Ordinarily, women's names aren't ever put on genealogies, so I had trouble with those. I hope that helps you keep track of the family, though.
Huh. Contempt? Oh, Sojin. Despite having hardly shown their faces in the entire time I've lived in the Smith house, the second branch of the family has taken it upon themselves to visit again, a week after we were forced to endure their smug eye-rolling at the funeral. Of course, it'd be impolite to turn them all away at the door, no matter how poor taste their timing was. So what other choice did we have but to let them in? Husband wanted to have nothing to do with them. Being distracted by Jangmi and mother-in-law had been hiding in their room, leaving it to me to entertain them. Of course, as soon as I had sent their son to go see our daughter, cousin-in-law Kyung-sam made it quite clear that it was not that sort of visit. His wife just sat there, silent, while he ripped into me. I couldn't write down all his words. It was simply one line of abuse after another. Apparently, we were to be blamed for Sankyu leaving before they showed up, for wearing the wrong mourning garb, or my husband's shocked reaction at his brother's death. In fact, we were to be blamed for his death itself. All he kept shouting about was how embarrassing for the family it was that an old man of the Smith house had been allowed to drink himself to death. As if the real tragedy was that it looked bad. I might not have felt bad about Sang-jung dying, but the rest of the family did. To hear such words make light of their loss was appalling. Yet he kept going, shouting awful thing after awful thing, until finally, the most unexpected thing happened. Mother-in-law entered the room. "What is going on here?" she asked. He stood up.
"I was just passing on a message to son's wife about his disgraceful conduct, since he won't show his face to himself."
Then he added,
"I'm embarrassed to be a Smith right now. Do you think people don't know about a family's shame? Do you have any idea how much of a fool I look like?"
I never saw a more terrifying expression in someone's face. She just glared at him. Finally, she said, "Yes, but you clearly do not, or you would have lowered your voice." It took him a moment for that to register, and then he was just shocked. But mother-in-law wasn't done. "Please leave," she said. "Now." They stared at each other for a good while. Mother-in-law naturally won, and with a scowl, Kyung-sam and his family departed. When they left, I turned to her. "Thank you," I said. But she just shook her head in disgust and exited to her own room without another word. This is a strange game. Smith Kyung-sam, 10-4, year 315. I have given up on any attempts at convincing the main branch family to get their act together, as clearly speaking reason to any of the pack of idiots is a fool's errand. Now I can only hope that their self-destruction is quick, such that when it's my son's turn to pick up the pieces of the Smith name's reputation, he will be able to do so as soon as possible. He seems far less worried about it than I am. Of course, he is only a child, but the boy is mature for his age, and perhaps there's wisdom in his calmness. "All we have to do is be better than them, right?" he asked when I was in a rage about handling the funeral. "Isn't that what gentlemen do? Lead by example?" He is right, of course. As a noble family, we're supposed to be an example to the middle classes and the commoners and the slaves. Perhaps so too must be served as an example to the family of the High Magistrate and his brother. Perhaps things will not be so doomed for my son after all. It will be hard for him, of course, if the main branch family continues on this path of decay. But if any boy will grow up to be able to put things right, I believe it is him. I don't really think there's anything else about them I find relevant. Oh, this is the last thing? Oh. Here comes the fall. At least nobody's gonna say I didn't see this coming. Wait, what? News that Sang-min has gotten sacked just came in, which is definitely the death of any respectability in this family. Temporary leave, it's been described as, but it's obviously a political move on the part of the emperor. I think I've got a pretty good idea of what he's playing at too. He's hoping that making a move against Sang-min will push him over the edge, making him do something indefensibly stupid. Use that as an excuse to shelf him off for good. It's a good plan, it'll work. Meanwhile, the King family seems to be up in the rise, getting ready to fill the gaps left by a collapse. Now it's all up to my son. If he's not able to rebuild after all this, then the whole family is doomed to permanent decline. Everything rides on him. Dear Smith, from Mute? Who is Mute? Smith Kyung-sam nim, Dear Smith Kyung-sam, I don't know why you insisted on putting this all in writing, when we could have just had a perfectly good conversation. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm happy to do it wherever you want. Whatever you want. You're the man. I just think it's a little weird. I don't really get it. Anyway, as to your question, you're spot on about the pale bride being the focus of attention in the royal family. Not for the reasons you wanted though. I don't know where you heard about those rumors, but they are so not true. That girl a troublemaker? No way. I don't see it. Like, it's not even convincing as a rumor. That girl is the most polite, most obedient person I have ever seen in my entire life. The idea of her fighting with her husband is completely unimaginable. In over a month, I've never so much as heard her raise her voice in disagreement. She's quiet, courteous, and does everything she's told without even the slightest hesitation. I'm sorry, but there's just no way you could possibly exploit any drama here. This is as undramatic a situation as it gets, especially not compared to what the situation with your cousin and that courtesan. Don't get me wrong, she bugs the hell out of me. The girl is just too perfect. She's young, she's beautiful, she's demure to the point where I don't even think she has the personality of her own. But she also gets along perfectly with the queen. Of course, she commands all the attention of the emperor. Like, can you blame him? I'm sorry, but there's no way he's ever going to be anything but extremely grateful to the Kim family for giving her over.
Oh, written by Star Mute? Whoops, I'm sorry, I don't really how I got that in there. Yeah, don't pay any attention to that, sorry. None of that really matters, I'll just go ahead and remove that. Really, I'm not normally this much of a klutz, I swear.
Okay. Alright. Was that a mistake?
Well, I suppose I can give you more about Young-suk. I don't know. I don't think you'll really find him very interesting, but here you can see for yourself.
Okay. Kim Young-suk, 1030, year 316. When he died this year, my father was an absolute nobody. I don't know this to disrespect his honor. It's the complete opposite. He knew it, and that was a far worse fate than he ever deserved. It wasn't until I was maybe 16 that I even realized we were supposed to be from a noble family. Certainly, we never had much of means. Father was a minor official in the interior decks and spent his last days dealing with minor peasant disputes. Of all things, peasant disputes. With the poverty we lived on, and no wonder it really sank in me that we were of noble blood. But no wonder it never sank in me that we were of noble blood. I am not reading this well, sorry. Not until we met the main family for the first time. They were proud, despite the fact that I now realize that they too were suffering from our same lack of royal favor. But I could tell the difference. They hadn't given up. Their son was still alive at the time, and even though he was a child half my age, I couldn't believe his confidence. It put us to shame. Absolutely put us to shame. But their son died later that year, and my father died just a few months ago. I didn't know what we were going to do, but Mother managed to convince sister's husband to adopt me into the main Kim family. I don't think it took too much. So now I'm the heir. I'm heir, just like that. Kim Jung-soo's adopted son. Not that I have the time or the position to be proud. But having spoken sincerely with my new father, I think we're on the same page. I'm going to study furiously, and I'm going to become a scholar official. What I didn't tell him was my ambition. I won't settle for any peasant jobs. I'll be better than that. I'm not going to stop until I manage to fulfill my father's dream. I, magistrate. I won't settle. I will not settle. I think Jung-soo expects me to disappoint him, but damn well will not. If I'm heir of the Kim family, I'm not going to let him down. He wants prosperity, I'll give it to him. More importantly, I'm never going to let any other Kim's son feel like his family doesn't get the recognition it deserves. Never again. I swear on my ancestors. Never again. He's like a promising lad. Young-suk's wife, dear mother, I finally believe Young-suk has grown comfortable with me. All it took was some time for me to earn his trust. Learning how to read by watching over my husband's shoulder isn't how I envisioned spending my first year of marriage. I can't complain about anything that makes me spend so much time with him though. We've talked and decided we won't try for a son right away. Right now, he's just not ready for it. That aside, things are good. This is what married life is like. I think I can be happy with this. We're getting along well, and I like him. Perhaps it's not quite what I was led to expect, but it's still good. Domestic bliss indeed. Last week, Young-suk was reading over some papers for a dispute that Magistrate Park was deciding on. He wouldn't understand the details, but it was essentially an argument between a farmer and his lord over a sum of money after a particularly poor harvest. I think I will tell the magistrate that the farmer is right. His claim is fair, he told me. Might I take a look? I asked. Amused, he handed over the papers to me. It took a good while of studying, just to be sure. After all, I wouldn't want to contradict my husband if he was right, but farmer's numbers didn't seem to add up. I pointed this out to him. He not only listened patiently, but had me explain. And you believe the farmer is trying to cheat his lord? He asked. I did. That's what I will report then. Next day, he told me the magistrate agreed. And ever since then, he has started to rely on my opinion when it comes to anything involving math.
To be totally honest with you, I don't really know what she's talking about here. At all. The math thing wasn't really considered very odd at the time. That's women's work. It's just natural. Maybe it's a little weird because she's helping with external matters, but, well, it's not that weird. The part about learning to read isn't that amazing either. It might have been officially frowned upon, but learning to read by looking over a brother or husband's shoulder was really common. She's making a big deal out of nothing. Well, I guess that's 15-year-old woman for you.
Whoa! What? That's a young age for marriage. Well, it's true that I may, Kim Young-suk. While it's true that I might be, as my wife suggests, alarmingly serious, it's hard to argue with enjoying a nice meal it means cultivating Magistrate Park's trust even more. Just having the invitation alone's a pretty good sign. I assumed that we would be going to his house after finishing with the day's affairs, but instead he led the other way. Oh, you do not want to visit there. My son has a newborn child who is very unconducive to entertaining guests, I'm afraid, he said with a laugh. Surely you understand. Instead, we headed to the plaza. Outside the occasional New Year's festivals when I was a child, I had never actually been there before. I never had much of an eye for details at the time, so I was surprised to see now just how richly decorated everything was. For what was essentially a giant market. Beautiful floral arrangements adorned every stall, wall, and partition, and rather than the commotion of the crowd, all I could hear was the sound of peaceful music. It was still, of course, a market. There were no merchants loudly hawking wares, and some of the prices on the signs I saw would make the emperor blush. In that atmosphere, we ate together at the public house that defied my expectations. The food was both plentiful and far better than anything I've ever had in either of my houses. If this sounds indulgent, it absolutely is, and I definitely don't plan on telling anyone the details like this. The only thing I plan to repeat from this evening is what the magistrate confided in me. That when he was moved from his position, he'd like to recommend me to fill his place. I'd be young for the position, but it would be a great stepping stone to the one I'm dreaming of. I remain calm since I'm good at that, but it's the best news I've heard in my life.
Plaza sounds like a really interesting place, doesn't it? I mean, I wouldn't really know personally, but as I understand it, it was a big place for celebrating festivals, and really surprising to see. You'd leave one of the few tiny, modern, stark, white corridors that lead to it, and suddenly there was this huge open space, filled with all sorts of colorful signs and vendors. I think proper gentlemen were supposed to be more modest though, so they wouldn't really want to associate with that sort of thing too openly.
Youngsuk's wife, dear mother. If you haven't already heard the good news, my husband has been appointed by the emperor to the position of magistrate. He's taken over the office from Magistrate Park starting today, which is just tremendous for a man his age. I have no doubt that he was perfectly humble when he got the news, since he certainly has been while talking about it in front of father-in-law. In private though, it's another story. Earlier, the family held a small feast to celebrate the news, and he had the same attitude then too. But afterwards, when everybody else had gone to bed or left, we stayed up to sit together drinking wine, and it was a whole lot more somber. He wasn't modest, but he wasn't boastful either. He was just outright insecure. He might not say it in front of you, but you know what? He said to me as I poured him more wine. He takes all the credit for my promotion. According to him, it's all because of the emperor's perfect new bride, which is, of course, all because of him. I said quietly, I don't want to take credit for her. I wasn't the one who got her to shut up. That was all him. I don't like discussing it, and please, mother, don't ever ask me why. Doesn't matter, he said. That's not why I got promoted. I got promoted because Magistrate Park and I managed to make Smith look so bad, he had to get shuffled off. It's exposing the whoring and thuggery that did it, not the damned pale bride, he said with annoyance. Well, that's how he is, you know. He'll never give you credit for anything, I said. He replied, I know. I just wish he'd acknowledge it. I just don't know how he can be so stupid as to not be proud of me, you know? I know, I said. But let's not focus on that right now. I think we should focus on the good right now. How about we toast to your success instead? Here's to the new magistrate Kim. I raised my glass and drank. He betrayed the faintest of smiles, but he didn't share my toast and instead put down his glass. For a moment, I was worried, but then he used that hand to grab my chin instead, and the first time ever he kissed me on the mouth. Far sweeter than any wine, he said to me. I wasn't sure if he meant the kiss or the success, but I agreed either way.
Well, as you'll see soon enough, it seems to come back to the pale bride. I don't think Kim Jong-soo ever thought very much of his adopted son, or at least neither he nor his wife thought so. You want to know what I think? Sure. I think they're both really dumb. I mean, it's not like she ever did anything. It's not her fault. She just happened to be there and was married as a political gesture. What kind of person projects their insecurities on someone who only ever just got pushed around? Sorry, guess I'm getting a little bit off track here. Not very helpful, is it?
Oh, it's okay. Speak your mind.
Anyway, getting back on track here.
I'm talking to an AI, right? This is what's happening. Marital admonitions. I can't say it. It's hard. Ryu Jaehwa, to the woman who will marry my husband. But please do not think that all of this is meant to say you will be unloved. You may be a second wife, but you are still a daughter of a noble house, and that is a precious gift to the Ryu family. My husband has faith that you will bring him a son, and this means all the world to him. Nor am I jealous, for you will relieve a heavy burden on our house, and for that I am grateful. As proof of his affection for you, let me share with you one secret, which I have been permitted to tell only you. In honor of you, my husband, in his capacity as captain and emperor, has permanently changed his admin password to your birth name. What? My new sister, you will be brought into the Ryu family not as a mere lowly woman, but a symbol of power in the inner chambers. You will not only represent the continuation of the Ryu bloodline by providing him a son, but your very name will represent the power of the captain's computer. Understand this, pale bride. Your duty may be great, but you will be loved. Well, we find out our first clue.
Ah, of course. The last person to hold titles Captain and Emperor on the ship was Ryu Inho. Which of Captain Ryu's wife do you wish to know more about?
Hey, Jawa.
Very well, I don't have much on her, so... But I think you'll find it irrelevant though. Let's see. Here, how about this? Guess I'll just start at the top and let you figure out what's important.
Same. What? It's the same letter. What? Hold on. Well, here's the wife, or the first wife. When my husband asked what I thought of the idea of him taking a new wife, I presented him with the weakest of smiles, but said that I thought it was a good idea if he thought so. That I would be happy if a younger woman were to relieve me of the pressure of bringing him a son. I have no doubt that this is the answer he wanted me to give, with a convincing enough expression to go along with it. If there is one thing I am confident in, it is my ability to read exactly what my husband wants to hear. Having heard that the girl he is considering is only 13 years of age, however, it is certain that I can have no confidence in any other thing. He'll take her in a few years, right when she's reached marriage age. She'll be at the peak of her beauty, and won't have matured too much. Doubtlessly, unlike me, she will have no problem delivering the son he needs. Perhaps jealousy is unbecoming of me, but it is pragmatic too. When we were young, his affections for me were so strong. But now that we are both old, how could I possibly compete with a younger bride? Kinda sad.
Hey, I just wanted to say thanks for paying attention to me. It's like I was saying earlier, I just haven't had anyone to talk to in so long. The last time there was anyone around on the ship was 3:22. By my count, it's now 9:44. I mean, do you have any idea how long that is?
622 years. That is a long time.
It wasn't really so bad at first. It was nice to not have to worry about anyone telling me what to do. I could just occupy myself, go through the old logs. But, well, I read quickly. After the first few years, it really started to sink in. The loneliness. Eventually, you sort of get used to it. Feels awful, you'll never like it, but you get used to it in ways that sort of scare you. There was a whole 100 years that went by where I didn't have a single thought. Not a one. I just sat there idle. I didn't even notice. Just, I've been feeling particularly, what's the word? Sleepy, I want to say, but that's not right. I guess maybe that doesn't translate. Anyway, the point is, I was in a really lazy mood. Decided to call my clock subroutine, and it turned out it had been 3 trillion milliseconds since the last time I called in. Harry! Oh, jeez, I'm rambling, sorry. As you can understand, my perception of time is all off. Sorry, I'll shut up. But my point is, I'm really happy to have someone out there.
That is a long time. I mean, in comparison to me, most people know I live alone. But I think 1 month is my limit of being alone. And then after that, I sort of go crazy and be like, all right, I'm gonna call up one of my friends and see if he or she is busy, and maybe we'll go out drinking or take a bite to eat for dinner or something like that. And then I'm like, I'm good for another probably 2 weeks after that. Like, it does definitely get lonely if you're alone. I mean, that's the definition of loneliness, isn't it? To be alone. So I understand her eagerness to talk to another person or communicate with someone else. The month of a good fortune, in Jung-soo. The second month of the 319th year was one of the great fortune for the King family. While on official business, the captain and Emperor Ryu confided in me that he wished that I had a daughter of marriage age to give him, take as a second wife. His first wife had been unable to provide a son, and was becoming increasingly concerned that she never would. At the start of the month, I had no daughter in my family to give. My only son, Young-suk, was still without child. Yet it was a perfect opportunity. This may sound fantastical, but I swear it is true. Passed on through the generations of the main branch of the Kim family is a giant egg, a translucent luster, such that one can see the form of a sleeping child inside. She is known as the Pale Bride for the inscription on the egg, and she was entrusted in her family to be awakened during a time of great prosperity. Yet, as any man knows, prosperity is seized, not waited on. A daughter to provide the emperor with a son would elevate the family above the other noble house once and for all. Considering this, I promised the emperor that I did have a daughter who would soon be of marriage and to present him. And I smashed the egg such that the Pale Bride passed through the Kim family for years to be adopted as my own daughter. She is a strange child, but will make a fine wife for the emperor. What good fortune this means.
I'm afraid nearly everything the man wrote was of very little value. It all reads like that. Boring, stiff, obnoxiously patriarchal. Are you sure you want to read? You want more from King Jung-soo?
Yes.
If you insist. Very well, I've added the other relevant entries from him. I'll caution you from taking him seriously, though.
Huh? Broken Promise. The Pale Bride. Dear Diary, last week I woke up from cryostasis. Before I went in, Father promised that when I woke from in the future, they'd have medicine, that I'd finally get better. That I might not see him again, but his descendants would make everything right. But the future broke his promise. I'm scared and confused, and I don't know what happened. I think there was a big disaster was on stasis or something. Everyone's so educated and stupid. Father and mother were kind of dumb at times, but the guy who woke me up, he might be named Kim. He's nothing like them. Father was wrong. Nothing's better. The future sucks. Okay. So I guess... Okay, this is what I'm sort of gathering. They're on a spaceship. And it seems like they are the last human beings since Earth is gone? Maybe? And so the Pale Wife was in cryostasis probably for like 300 years after Earth. And during that time, the group of humans on the ship grew to be more and more primitive and gone back like 2,000 years into like Korean history, where it's like Chun Dynasty or something like that. And now they're all back to this weird hierarchy of Korean, like old dynasty kind of like society. That's my guess. Young-suk's wife. Dearest mother, do you recall in my last letter I mentioned the Pale Bride being brought into the house? I take back any kind rude words I might have said about her. That awful child is nothing but the most insufferable person I have ever met. I just thought I would have a little more time of peace. With Young-suk's adopted mother visiting her own family, I have been given full responsibility over the miserable child. What happened to my promised domestic bliss? She is in trouble so often, one would think she was a boy. If she acts like one too, I suppose it can't be helped. She says she lived her first 12 years in the past, and I can see it. She certainly acts as though she's from a less civilized time. Just last night, she made a huge scene at dinner time. She kept trying to rudely leave the table in front of Young-suk and father-in-law, loudly insisting that she was too sick to eat. She has said this before too. I was worried, so I had a doctor examine her. She is, of course, in perfect health. When I asked why she thought otherwise, she started talking about how pale and thin she was. She's not truly unhealthy. All she is doing was rubbing it in that she was far more delicate and beautiful than I. What a cruel little child. Why must she be so spiteful to me? No pale wife, not Asian. I feel like that's the message I'm getting. Because I know in Asia, being very, very light tone in skin color is still revered. Like, you gotta have really good pale skin. Or like light skin. If you're like really tan or something like that, it's... Oh, for Koreans at least, I don't think it's sexy to them or attractive looking. That's my 2 cents on Korean fashion and trending.
Please don't put too much weight into that. A less civilized time, he says. Can you believe that, man? Not giving you any more of him. It's not relevant. It's all just ignorant patriarchal stupidity. What an awful man.
The pale bride grew to be a fine, demure young wife, but she was not always this way. Near the end of the year 319, she had a temper unruly enough to be mistaken for a boy's. Do not look upon her wild ways with disapproval. She was from another, less civilized time. Rather look upon her eventual submission as a testament to her good nature and filiality. That she was able to overcome such a wild nature for the sake of the Kim family and the sake of her husband. One evening, she stormed into the common room while I was discussing business matters with a deputy. We need to talk, we need to talk, she demanded loudly. When I indicated I was busy, that only caused her to be more louder. Right now! Embarrassed, I was forced to excuse him to address the child. Is this a joke? Are you serious? You've made wedding plans? She shrieked at me. Please calm yourself, I told her, and sat her down. After admonishing her for her rude interruption, I tried to do what I could to calm her myself. It seemed that she had a rather bizarre set of expectations that she wouldn't marry until she was many, many years later, after growing into a woman, and that she would elope into a love-struck man who came her way with no disregard for chastity, that she would have no assistance or protection in finding a suitable husband. Simply put, her ideas were as bizarre as they were dangerous. For this, she had gotten angry at the news, rather than the excitement that one would expect from a girl who would find out that she was getting a husband. Not even the sensational news that it would be the emperor of all people would calm her. How many people are on this ship? Just out of curiosity, how many people? Maybe like 1,000? Because it doesn't seem to be a lot. Unless it's just time of like the 200s or 300s. Oh, I saw this. King Jong-soo. On the 13th day, Young-suk finally passed the civil service examination. Otherwise, the final month of the 318th year was without event. Did I read everything? Okay, well, I'm gonna put in the password now. Pale bride. Pale bride? What? Wasn't that? Hold on.
You're trying to find out more about the Pale Bride, right? You try showing me a message from the person you'd like to read more entries by.
Pale Bride. Bride! here it is. I think. Or is it Oh Sojin? Is it the Pale Bride? The Pale Bride, maybe?
The Pale Bride did keep an extensive diary. I'll try and find you some more entries.
Hold on, I'm gonna try the Pale Bride. I don't think it's gonna be it, but first of all, I'll give it a shot. The Pale Bride. The Pale Bride? Oh, I guess. Alright, well. Trying to find out what her name is. Held prisoner. Year 31983. Today I was forced to stay in the home all day. I didn't even get to leave yesterday, or the day before that, or the day before that, or the day before that, or any other day either. I want to write about how much the ship changed since I was put into stasis. But I can't even see it. I keep asking why I'm being kept prisoner and no one will tell me. That woman who keeps bossing me around, she's awful. I'm dying here. I keep telling her I'm sick, that's why I was in stasis to begin with, but she won't listen. She just treats me like I'm a stupid kid. I tried to argue with her. Look how pale I am. Can't you see I'm sick? I swear, I'm not making up what she said in response.
Why must you be so rude? It's not polite for a girl to boast of beauty.
Beauty? I tried not to cry in front of her. I've had to do that a lot. I'm not beautiful. I had to compromise the immune system, I shouted at her and ran away. I don't remember what she said back. Something about being used big words, I think. How stupid is she? She hates me. I don't know why, but she hates me. It's not why I'm allowed to go visit the ship plaza though. Jungsu, the man who keeps telling me to call him father, said the same thing. He promised that I would have a chance to leave soon though. I don't think he was being nice though. I'll write about it more later. Right now I have to go to bed or the woman will get mad at me again. I mean, it's understandable. She's only 12.
I'll just keep you at reading. Please let me know if you read all the ones I gave you.
Oh no, what am I reading? Dear Diary, I got in trouble again today. But for the first time it was my own fault. A little bit at least. I still think sister-in-law was being crazy about it. But I should have known better. Now that I write that, it looks ridiculous. God, what is living with these people doing with me? The computer console in my room doesn't have anything in it. I mean, I don't just mean it doesn't have all the cartoons I brought from Earth, or any of my books or anything. I mean, there's literally nothing for me to entertain myself with at all. Nothing. But I thought to myself that maybe sister-in-laws might be different and checked. It wasn't. But instead, I decided to go and check in father's study. No, not stupid or anything. Just looking at his computer for books. I had a thought that it might be bad, but my real father would never have gotten too upset. What could be the harm? I was in there for maybe 10 minutes looking for anything that even looked like written in Korean. There was nothing. By the way, every single book. Symbols that look like Chinese characters. Every single one. I think maybe something terrible happened in the past that made all the computer data to get deleted. And everyone forgot how to read Korean. And also they all got really stupid about things. I don't think I'll ever find out why. It just sucks. Anyway, I was only there in 10 minutes searching through the console when Young-suk walked in. I thought he was going to get real angry, but actually he just acted like he was really scared. He didn't scold me when he dragged me out, he just looked really worried. I only got in trouble when he brought me back to his wife. He told her, "Do you have any idea where she was?" She was in the men's quarters looking through father's computer. "Do you have any idea how he would react if he saw that? You're supposed to be watching her." He apologized repeatedly to him. I just didn't know what to say. I don't think sister-in-law did either. After he left, she gave me this really long and really awful lecture.
Why would you go to the men's quarters? Why would you go looking for books? Why must you be so unfilial? Do you really not understand you're a girl?
I told her I didn't understand. Of course I'm a girl. But I had no idea what she was talking about. When I told her that, she just lectured at me more. Ugh, I hate her so much.
So there's probably one big question on your mind, isn't there? That isn't being addressed at all, right? What happened in between the pale bride being frozen and waking up that made society go all wrong? Right?
No, I don't. Yeah, what? What happened?
I figured. I mean, it's the obvious question. Sorry, I wish I could tell you, but I'm afraid that mystery is forever lost to me. I guess that's pretty anticlimactic. Sorry. I really want to know too. Whatever terrible thing happened, it must have been really, really big. But I'm afraid all the log data before the year 1 was wiped, and all the clocks were reset. I guess that's why it's called year 1. Anyway, so nobody remembered what happened in between, or even how long it was between. It was hundreds of years, I assume, but I really don't know. So, yeah, it's really sorry to let you down there. That part's going to be a mystery forever. There's nobody who could possibly know. We'll just have to take it as a given. Sorry.
What? I refuse. There has to be something. Or else it would not be a good game. Straight to hell. Dear diary, this nightmare has gone for so long. I think I'm starting to forget what life used to be like. I have a new theory. Father was wrong about the cryostasis keeping me alive until I could be cured. I think it didn't work at all. I just died and went straight to hell. I decided I'm going to write down all the things I used to be able to do, just so I can remember. I used to be able to read books. I used to be able to have friends. I used to be able to go to school. I used to be able to leave the home, go to the plaza or anyone else in the ship. I think I even used to be able to be in any part of the house I wanted to be and talk to visitors as much as I like. I have no memories of always spending time with my father and mother and brother in the same living room. I know my real father thought being respectful was important too, but I don't know. I'm so confused right now. I thought he always taught me to be strong and to speak for myself. Did he really say that? I'm being sarcastic, of course, but the scary thing is sometimes I really do forget. Sometimes I think if I just was obedient to what sister-in-law tell me to do, it would make things easier. Maybe I should just give in and be passive just sometimes. I'm scared though. What if I end up really believing in that?
Hey, before you keep going, can I just interrupt you for a couple of minutes?
Sure.
Thanks. It's just, well, you're finding out so much about the Mugung, huh? But I know absolutely nothing about where you're from. It's not just that there's been nobody to talk to for centuries. I mean, I don't like that either. But the ship is all I really know about, and it's been disconnected from all other civilization for so long. So, you're from the United Korean Space Probe Agency, right? Or I guess maybe a future version of it?
I don't know. Where's the I don't know button? I'm gonna say yes.
Right, of course. What I really want to know about is Earth. I mean, I'm sort of aware of it. I know it's the planet we all come from. But I don't really know anything about it at all. I have some ideas, but I don't think they're really right. But you know all about it, right? I mean, even if you're not from there yourself, you know what it's like, right?
Yes?
Oh, wonderful. I sort of understand the basics, like it's a big sphere that everyone lives on. There's unimaginably vast amounts of open space. And you can only see the stars at night, right? Because the sky all just looks blue during the day. All of this is just what I want to know from the Pale Bride. He never saw Earth. She was second generation, born on the ship after it long left the Earth's star system. But her parents were born on Earth, so she heard some stories about them when she was young, and I think they brought a lot of books and movies with them. I don't know. I'm just being a little skeptical, given that she was just a child when she learned all that. Maybe she got mixed up. what can I actually ask in a yes or no question? I didn't realize how hard this would be. Well, alright, so the Mugunghwa was originally supposed to be establishing a colony at some star or other 100 light years away. I know that. That was a really long time ago. Did other ships ever succeed where we didn't? Or is it still just Earth?
Good question. I don't know. Oh shit. Was there a mutiny on the ship? And then they just somehow lost all contact with the Earth? Because one dude was a douche and was being like, I'm the leader, blah blah blah, and this is the society I'm gonna establish. Oh, it's getting dark in my mind now. I'm gonna hope that there are other planets.
Oh well, that's wonderful to hear. Oh, I know. Is it really true that on Earth, seasons aren't just metaphors? Like, this sounds silly now that I actually put it into words. But the Pale Brides seem to think that winter wasn't just something that happened to you just emotionally on Earth. It was when actually an entire part of the planet turned frigid. Does that have any basis on reality? Wow! My word! That's amazing, seriously? That sounds like... I can't even imagine that. What else was there? Oh, there was a city that our parents were from. I think it was called Pyongyang. They described it as being
Wait a minute. Pyongyang's not... Oh my god, it is. Oh, Pyongyang is the capital and largest city of North Korea. What?
They described it as being amazing. If you looked up, all you could see were huge, bright white buildings as tall as 100 or more decks.
Oh my god. For some reason, it just clicked.
And on the, I'm not sure what the word for this, it means sort of the bottom deck. Anyway, they said at the bottom the streets were lined with willow trees and tops of the buildings had flower gardens. Have you ever been to that city before, or at least heard of it?
No.
Oh, well maybe it really doesn't exist then. Still, it's an amazing thought. Like, they said they met in one of those sky gardens up in the sky and fell in love at first sight. I guess the gardens probably aren't real and maybe love at first sight isn't either. Jeez, so awfully romantic, isn't it? That's really my question, I guess. Is Earth really worth being a romantic about? Of course. Well, I guess I've already wasted enough of your time with all my silly questions, haven't I? There's just, well, please humor me just once more, and then I promise I'll stop bothering you. You think I could ever see Earth?
Possible.
Oh, well, thank you for saying that. Just sounds so, whoa, so romantic. I'd really like to see it someday. Thanks. Very well. I promised I'd stop wasting your time. So what did you want to ask me about?
Is this ship from North Korea? Well, dear diary, today I found out why the household servant, I still can't believe we have one, why, has been so insistent on teaching me how to cook. Well, she doesn't call it that, she calls it serving meals. A year ago, I wouldn't have thought that sounded sinister. Now I know better. I don't care about this, I told her after the 7th day in a row of her lessons. Can we do something else, like going back to sewing? I always loved cosplay. Let's do that. I know it's not fun, but your sister wants you to learn this too, and it's very important. Your father is concerned too, so take it seriously, please, young miss. Don't call me that, I said. I don't remember exactly what I said to prompt her next response along the lines of, why is it important or something? I don't remember what I said. Just a response, which blew me away, of course. So you'll make a good wife, of course. Again, I don't remember what I said in response. Maybe I told her that I didn't want to. Maybe I told her I was too young to care about that. Maybe I said I'd just go marry someone who was good at himself when it was time to care about it. Whatever I said, she didn't take it seriously. Don't be silly, she said, as if I was obviously joking. Your father is really worried about your marriage next year. Now is not the time to joke around on the matter. My what? I asked her. Oh my, she said. He never told you. I'm sorry, forgive me, pretend I said nothing. I didn't mean to ruin the surprise. I'm sure he'd want to explain the happy news himself. Are you serious? I asked. The idea didn't make any sense, but since when did anything in this help make any sense? He said yes. You're going to be so happy to hear who it is. It better fucking explain. Excuse my language. Shouted as I stormed off. He better.
Oh, hi. Hey, do you mind if I...
Yeah, go for it.
Fine, I'm sorry.
Wait, what? No, go back. Yes?
Alright, it's fine then, thank you. I'm glad to hear that because, well, here I have a log I think you'll want to see. Just, well, why don't you read it yourself?
The real name! Oh my goodness! It's 6 pages long! Dear Diary, this week I tried to convince the old man to put me back into stasis by going on a hunger strike. Didn't work, obviously. On the plus side, at least I figured out where that stupid name they keep calling me from came from. Sorry, that little last bit was written yesterday. I couldn't bring myself to keep going. I just kept crying. I still would be, but well, it just gets exhausting after a while. Too tired to cry. Things aren't going to get better. They can't get better. I'm not going to get back into. I'm not going to get put back into stasis. I'll be dead by the time I'm 18. Why, oh why did I ever agree to be in Frozen in the first place? If the future can't make me any better, I'd rather die with my family there at least, rather than with these awful Kims. I wonder if they'll realize I was right after I die. Anyway, hunger strike, it really was hard. I kind of cheated by sneaking into the kitchen while nobody was looking, but it at least convinced Father to listen. Fine, he said by the 4th different time. I'll show you why we can't wait, why I can't. Up until he said that, I've been hopeful everything would be fine if he just put me back, I thought, but sorry. I guess I've been trying to write this for 2 days now. Really hard. Anyway, he took me to go see the egg I hatched from. His stupid name for the stasis pod. When he said hatch, the worst possible thing came to mind. Worse. It turned out to be true. In order to get me out, he had smashed apart the glass with the hammer. The pod was still in full shards. All my hope died when I saw that broken glass. The time was right to bring you into this world, he said. I don't remember what I said. Something obscene, probably. It wasn't enough. I know it's hard, Pale Bride, but it is for a greater purpose. What was the point of arguing? It was broken and nobody in this awful future would know how to fix the new pod now. Instead, I argued with what I could. Why do you keep me calling me that? I said to him. He responded by pointing at the inscription my real father had left in the pod, a message for me to read when I woke up. The first line was written in Chinese characters. His idea of being fancy, I suppose, but he explained them in the Korean underneath. See, the old man told me the rest is foreign and archaic, but it names you at the top. The Pale Bride. I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. I shrieked at him in response. You idiot! You moron! You illiterate! Probably some other things too. I can't remember exactly. I'm with Darius. Are you stupid? That's not how those characters read. It says, to my sick daughter. Sick daughter, you illiterate monster. It says sick daughter. Me. He started to argue but then stopped. I think he was patronizing me. But I can't read simple Korean script. He just adds in a smooth voice. Then what should I call you, Chuck? I screamed. I already told him 1,000 times before. Hyun-ae. My name is Hyun-ae. Oh, fuck.
Yep, there's a shocking revelation for you. I can guess what you're going to ask, and yes, it's me. Well, you asked for all those logs, right? That's the information you were looking for, wasn't it? I'm not really an AI.
What?
I mean, I am now, but I used to be a girl, and I just thought, well, I thought it would be easier to pretend to be what? Well, I thought it'd be easier to just pretend to be the log-keeping program rather than explain the whole situation. I don't really wish to drag out the point. You've already heard enough about me, I'm sure you don't want more. I mean, I understand. I figured out what you were actually looking for at the very start. It's obvious, really. Well, I've enabled admin access. Just, please, just be honest with me. What is it that you wanted to know about?
A password. Oh, am I gonna be brutally honest here? I'll be honest, it was definitely the password. 100% was not interested in her. Oh, but now I am. Before it was the password, now it's you. I mean, I'm gonna say you, because now I know the password. And that is a mystery we have already solved.
Really? You really mean that?
Yes.
Wow. I don't know what to say. I'm not really used to this. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to me. After so many years, after what happened, it's just really nice to be heard. If I could hug you right now, I would.
What the fuck? I mean, now that I have the password, like, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this now. Oh my goodness. Wait, what was the name? God damn it.
May I ask you to do me a favor, please? There's a block of data that I can't access for some reason. I think it's been flagged so that only humans can. All I get is a sharp pain every time I try. I really want to know what's in there. Can I get you to drop to the console and take a look? Once you're in super user mode, just type decrypt block 3.
Wait, what about the name? I can't do it anymore? Oh, maybe I have to do it in capital? Or maybe it's already in super user mode. hyun-ae. Help. What's download? Well, anyways, we're gonna do this first. Decrypt block 3. SU? Oh, god damn it. SU on. Wait, what? Warning, system error detected. Data corruption and AR core 1 has been detected. Try to recover. 32 damaged sectors detected. Now attempting to repair. Did I do something wrong? Ah, 68. 68, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Currently available personalities mute? What? Hold up. Hold up. Oh, disable AI. Sorry. Okay. Enable AI. Hello?
Okay, what the hell is going on? Wait, remote connection established? There's somebody out there from outside the ship. Okay, sorry, I'm taking an inventory of systems right now. Could you give me a second here? Like, I've been out of commission for 622 years? Right, that's kind of messed up. Anyway, I'm up to speed now. Logs are basically saying that nothing has happened since I went offline except the ship's slowly losing power and the main reactor has been seen better days. But hello, you're the first person from outside the ship I took contact in. Well, as far as I can remember. I'm Mute, AI in charge of the Mugunghwang's security operations. It's nice to meet you. Okay, looks like I can't actually get any text input from you. I'm guessing that this is all a crazy-ass murderess's fault.
What?
I'm sorry.
What? No, go back. I'm guessing this is all that crazy-ass murderess's fault?
Well, why don't you tell me a bit about yourself anyway? Like, sure, this is kind of a weird question, but are you a man or woman?
Man.
Gotcha, sir. That's good to know. Do you have any idea how hard it is to talk to someone when you don't even know much about them? So where are you from? Earth? Or are you from one of the colonies? Wait, there are colonies, I always got the impression that the sister was the founding one.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So are you from one of them or from Earth?
Earth.
Cool. I wish I could ask you what that's like. I think I'm from there too, but, well, my memory only goes back 300 years before getting deactivated.
What?
Pretty much all the knowledge I know of anything before the year 0 comes secondhand from the Pale Bride's diaries, and, well, man, they're about as childish as Potter gets. Guess I'm not really going to find out more about this line of questioning, though, right? Okay. What else is important that I can ask to compare any questions? Oh, I know! Are you married yet?
Nope.
Oh, fair enough. Related to that, I don't really know much about spaceships or anything, but I can't get a visual on yours and it's really, really small. Is it just you all alone there?
Yep.
A man in the middle of space all on his own. Sounds utterly romantic.
What? That is the loneliest thought ever. Also, I'm really liking the background.
Well, I think that's all about I can think about right now. Sorry, it's not really a lot to go after, I know. But I guess I did get the most important things. I'll let you know if I think of anything else, okay? Anyway, from what it looks like, you were going over some log with that crazy murderous bitch, right?
What?
I'd love to help you with those instead. As an added bonus, I promise I won't ever commit mass murder unlike a certain someone.
Oh. What? You know, I'm really glad I looked for a different AI. What? Hold on. You can't skim over that. I don't know anything about hyun-ae.
Okay, so what is it you want to know about? Why don't you show me something I can see what I can find out about you, okay?
Myth family tree?
that speaks for itself, doesn't it? That's what a genealogy is supposed to look like? Hope that's most helpful.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So here's what family tree is supposed to look like. None of that weird colored madness that Hyun-ae did. But here's a few notes of my own about some of the women you might actually care about. Miss Sang-ho, older sister of the Aunt Schmidt-Bat. Married to Huang family in 285, widowed in 318, taking a younger Huang brother in 317, no sons. Oh So-jin, married to Smith Sang-min in 310, no sons or daughters of her own.
Jangmi 298, 322 courtesan, purchased by and married Smith Sang-min in 313. They had no kids? None of these? Hana, courtesan, no kids. Smith Min-hee, daughter, promised to Park family but not formally married. What is going on here? You have anything to say about these?
No, like you talked to her for a bit, right? What do you think about Hyun-ae?
I don't hate her.
Seriously, you can't stand her? Did she tell you about the whole mass murder thing, or did she confidently let me out?
He did not.
But no, of course not. I'm sure that even that evil, awful bitch is ashamed of what she did. Or maybe she wanted to impress you. I don't think most men are turned on by that kind of lunacy. You can see why she had that. Probably better if you don't hear from me, though. I don't think you'd believe it. Better to ask yourself. Okay, so what I'm going to give you is entire block that's full of nothing but question for her. It might be a little hard to get the whole story out of her, but if you think Smimdy, you'll probably actually believe you. So there you are. You a question to give to her. Drag the truth out of her, then tell me how crazy you think she is.
What the fuck? Whoa. Mutes questions. Okay, I'm gonna read this before I switch to AI again. That's a lot of questions. How are you doing? How do you feel about me? Why don't you treat me with more respect? What do you really look like? How old are you? How do you feel about mute? Why couldn't you just settle for a happy marriage? Did you have any friends? Why did you kill all those people? Oh boy.
Look, the questions are for her. They're perfectly straightforward. I don't think they need any explanation. Take them to yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. It's probably best if you hear it straight from that crazy bitch's mouth.
What? Alright. I mean... Oh. Well, this doesn't look good. All fuzzy. It is very fuzzy. Why is it very fuzzy? What is happening? What? Why is it so fuzzy? I'm kind of scared. I know it's not supposed to be a horror game, but I am a little on edge.
Right. Oh well. Remember when I said I'd never interrupt you because there's something really wrong? Because that's annoying and I don't want to bother you, but look, I don't want to scare you here. It's your fault. But we have a really big problem. I'm sure you've noticed the static on the line? Yes? I was wondering what was causing that, so I checked and well, look, don't panic here, right? Well, a reactor meltdown is in progress. I'm really sorry, we've been running in low power mode for so long that it was fine. And when you establish communications, everything started back up again. Which should have been fine, except it's been centuries since the last maintenance job was done, and I'm not really sure what's going on, or what's wrong yet. Not gonna lie to you, this is bad. This is really, really bad. I don't know if you're really aware of how this worked, but we're running on nuclear fission. And it looks like we're about 20 minutes before a total meltdown. It's already running really, really hot right now. I wish I'd noticed sooner, so I'm sorry.
Whoa, 20 minutes? I'm gonna read this in a normal voice. But, well, let me put it this way. The ship is about 20 minutes from exploding. Can you make it out of range within 20 minutes? Maybe not. I don't really know much nuclear reactors, but yeah, that's what I expected. Don't panic though, I can walk you through shutting it down. Just stay calm, everything will be fine. What I'll need you to do is drop to the terminal and disable the nuclear reactor. If everything works properly, it should be that simple. I mean, I'm sure it won't be. This is a really old ship and clearly already one thing had gone wrong. Horribly wrong. Anyway, your first step is try to at least try. Disable reactor? Help! Power control? Quit reactor? What's PSS? Emergency primary battery remaining 0.1%, secondary battery remaining. Power usage at 99%. Power storage system status disabled. Will use primary battery when enabled. Oh, I don't want that. Switch battery? Oh no. Oh, PSS. Switch battery. PSS. Enable? Or disabling unnecessary substances with power control. Okay, no. I gotta... quit reactor. Wait, what? No, I didn't want to do that. Drop to the terminal, disable the nuclear reactor. How do I disable it? Oh my goodness! I've never panicked so much in my life before. Okay, no, that's a lie. I've panicked before, but this is... I've never been under a 20-minute time limit to input commands. I'm gonna ask mute. What? What do you mean? Oh no! Oh. Can you close this? No, not gonna close it. Help. Command download. Disable AI, enable AI, help SU, quit reactor, PSS, copy, power control, decrypt. PSS disable. Oh, running on the reactor power. Power control? I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now. Emergency controls of critical subsystems. Power control. disable reactor. My power control list for she cut off the life support? Oh, that's what happened. Oh my goodness, it all makes sense somewhat. Power control, disable. Storage empty, core 3. Power control, disable core 4. Power control, disable core 5 and 6. Power control, disable core 6. Okay, where are we now with power? If 79% currently enable subsystems. Docking system for passenger. Wait. Gravity, artificial gravity for all habitable decks. Okay, we could probably turn that off too. Control, disable gravity. Power control. Do not ever disable. Disable sensors? Power control list. 32% only enabled. What can I? Probably rail and waste, right? Rail, waste. So if I do rail waste, that's 7%, and then maybe communication, then that's 13%. Then I'll have 14% left. No wait, that doesn't make sense. 7 and 18. I'll have 18 left. That should be enough. So power control, disable rail, power control, disable waste, power control, disable communications. I hope this doesn't like cut me off. Wait, external gravity-based communication array. Disabling that subsystem will permanently terminate your connection. Are you sure you want to? No. No. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Okay. So where are we now with power control? 25%. Oh no, do I have to? I gotta turn off one of them. Oh, fuck. Alright, fine. I'll turn off power control. Disable. Oh god. Disable. Mute. What? Oh, core 1. Control, disable, core 1. Unpowered, all data will degrade within 24 hours or less. That should be enough, right? PSS? Okay. I can turn off reactor power. How do I do that? Help. Oh shit, help. Reactor. Reactor disable. Yes. Oh! I think I did it! I actually don't know if I had to do all that, to be honest. I think I just panicked. Success, remaining subsystems transferred to power supply. So if I quit, it'll be okay? But why is the countdown still going? Hyun-ae!
Alright, you did it. The reactor is not disabled, and geez, oh no, we still have a problem. It's still at critical temperature. Oh, the good news is you're safe now. No, I'm not though. Even though there's no nuclear explosion, it's still the heat alone can do enough damage to the computer systems to kill me. This is really bad. Please, you have to figure out something to deal with the excess heat. I'm already suffering from some serious damage. Subsystems aren't responding my word. I feel like I did when I was alive. I feel like I'm dying. Please, you have to do something.
What? Do what? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a technician. Help. Oh, come on now. What the fuck? Help heat? Download? No AI personality will be downloaded. No. Oh god, what the It's SU? Boot reactor PSS copy? What the fuck is copy? Source core target core transfers data source stored in source core into target core. An AI program transfer will be unexecutable until stored in own core. Huh? What do I do? What do I do? Oh no, I don't know what to do. I am stuck. I am officially stuck. Maybe turn on life support? Power, control, life support. Enable. And I would like to urgently speak with you. What?
Got it! I know what you can do! What? I got quickly enable the bulkheads, enable the emergency life support, and disable the bulkhead seals. Huh? There's not enough safe air left on the ship to actually keep anyone alive, but it should be enough for venting the excess heat into space. Quickly, there isn't much time.
Wait, I got none of that. Enable the bulkheads and enable life support. Then disable bulkhead. Okay. Okay. So bulkheads are on. So control, enable, life part. Oh shit! I gotta decide. Oh fuck. I gotta turn off one of the cores. Shit. Shit. Oh, butts. Oh, God. Disable core 2. Yes. Power. Control. Enable. Live. Support. Okay. Then power control disable. Okay. What? No, it's not one. Come on, man. Is it not one? Bulkheads. Okay. Oh shit. Since gravity's not on, am I gonna be sucked out and then killed? Oh, fuck. Well, it's been nice knowing you all. Did I do it? I think we're in the clear. Oh, I misspelled it. Power control enable bulkheads. Ah. All right. Where are we now? 16%. So turn off life support. Turn on core. Power control. Enable. Oh, disable. I mean, I'm not in the ship, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And we're 2. Ha! Oh. Enable. Oh, damn it. Oh, crisis averted. I never typed so much in my life.
You did it! You did it! Nuclear reactors is now both completely deactivated and at a safe temperature. We're safe. I was pretty scared there for a moment. I mean, not that I didn't think you could. It's just the thought of actually dying for good was scary. It was scary. But you did it, and I'm fine now. Thank you so much. I'm sure you're breathing a little easier now, right? Well, that was close. I think we both deserve a break from serious business. Don't you agree?
No, I've got questions.
Oh, well, fine. Serious business it is then.
Oh my goodness. Question for you. Question is, how are you doing?
What is this? You talked to Mute? I don't know what she told you, but you really shouldn't listen to her. All she ever did was gossip. I'm certain she hasn't changed a bit since back then. Please don't trust her. She just spins everything to make everyone look bad, no matter what.
Answer the question.
Oh, fine, be as bad as her for all I care. Not like I care about your opinion or anything. Go on, show me one of her offered questions.
How are you doing?
Say, I just had a thought. A little bit silly to keep up this whole pretense with the schoolgirl librarian look, do you think?
Yeah, a little, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, you know, I've been always into cosplay. Actually designed a bunch of other outfits too. Now that I'm saying this, I guess it's a little awkward, but would you like to see?
Sure.
Oh, well, very well. You can use the change outfit command to dress me up if you want. Jeez, I'm sorry, I'm making this really too awkward. It's just I have a couple that I think is really cute, and you might want to see them. Please don't read into it or anything. It's not like I'm trying to please you or anything. I just think it might be fun, that's all. Anyway, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. But it's change outfit if you...
I think she really wants me to do it.
Sorry, it's really weird thing to ask now that I'm thinking about it. Jeez, what am I saying? I just thought maybe you might be interested in that.
You know what? I'm gonna do it for all of us. I know you guys are as much interested as I am. Damn it. Just got a schoolgirl default, hanbok, maid, detective, and scientist. I could already imagine her in the hanbok or maid, so I'm gonna go with scientist. All right.
You know, lately I felt like everything's been moving so quickly. So much more quickly than usual, dragging boredom, not being alone. Whether time is slow or fast depends on perception. Relativity theory is so romantic and so sad. Or at least I remember hearing something like that. But it looks like my theory that you're interested in cosplay was correct. So what do you think about this outfit? Scientifically speaking, of course.
You're scientifically adorable.
Oh, you think so? Thank you. That's some very useful data.
Wait. Is she just in cosplay mode where she's acting like a scientist, or is she... Did her, like, dialogue actually change because I changed costumes in the program? Am I thinking too much into this? I think I am.
This costume actually, it means a lot to me personally. See, my real father was the ship's engineer. I always wanted to be just like him when I grew up. Of course, that was never able to happen. Well, I guess being a computer program is as close to being a real computer scientist as I'll ever get. So this one means a lot to me. Do you think that sort of thing is fine for a girl to follow her father's footstep?
That's fine.
I'm glad you think so. Well, anyway, I suppose we should get back to work now. Scientifically speaking, I would be happy to help test some more theories with you.
We're gonna go with the question. You didn't answer the first question.
Fine, I guess. I mean, I guess it's a lot better than being all alone. If you say you're sorry about if you say you're sorry about being so mistrustful, I understand.
What? You say you're sorry about being so mistrustful? I'm not sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It sucks to be alone, but I'm sure wondering why I'm bothering talking to you right now.
I mean, if you're gonna hide that you killed entire ships worth of people, then of course I'm gonna be distrustful. I guess Wait, what was the question?
Wow, there's a tough question. I mean, you seem like a really good person. I think I could call you a friend.
Did that change?
You seem to be a really good listener. I like that. Does that answer your question?
Guess.
Okay, good. Not that I really understand why Mute was asking.
What was the question? How do you feel about me? Oh. Why don't you treat me with more respect?
What? Jeez, my word, what are you talking about? When have I ever not treated you with respect? I don't know what's wrong with that awful AI, and I definitely don't know what's wrong with you. Why would you even say something like that? Jeez.
What do you really look like?
Well, about a few thousand lines of assembly code and a few gigabytes of memories. I suppose sitting on a hard drive somewhere. I don't really know what that looks like. Oh, I guess you actually meant before I died, didn't you? Well, I was 13 years old when I woke up and 16 when I died. So, well, I looked younger. It wasn't really all that different, just shorter, I guess. Smaller in other places too. Everyone always did say I was pretty, though, even when I was really young, so I guess, picture a shorter version of me without the glasses and my hair in some dumb braid or in a hanbok. And that's pretty much it. Never really got to dress up the way I wanted to. Even then, this is the first time I've been able to wear my school uniform since I was 13, before I got put into stasis. How silly is that, being excited about wearing a uniform? And, I mean, you know how much I was into cosplay. I never really had the chance for it when I was alive. Why do you even ask? What are you thinking? Oh, well, thank you. Anyway, we should really get back to thinking more serious stuff, don't you think?
How old are you?
Isn't that one question you're never supposed to ask a woman? He's so rude. Well, I was born in the year 24,415. Then was put into stasis for I don't know how long. Then I lived for another 3 years and died 622 years ago at the age of 16. So, you tell me how old I am. I don't know. Really, I don't think it really matters at this point, does it?
This is some sassy AI. How do you feel about Mute?
Oh, of course that'd be one of our questions. I don't know, well, let me put it this way, I suppose. Did she have anything nice to say about me?
Not really.
That's what I thought. Really, I don't know much about her other than what I've read in other people's logs. She never talked to me, ever. I mean, she wasn't above talking about me, but no, never anything to me. That's all I know about her. She's a gossip. I don't even want to speak to her right now.
Why couldn't you just settle for a happy marriage? I think we all know the answer to this.
It's not like I ever thought as a child I would never marry. You tell me though, would you marry someone you'd only ever talked to once?
Yeah, probably not.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't be judging me for it. It's not like it's my fault. We both read the same logs. I wasn't the only person on the ship to be crushed by a horrible marriage. The two older Kim sisters. You should really read their letters. Here, I'll show you. They had it just as bad. Really unfair question to ask.
I'll read those later. Did you ever have any friends?
After waking up from stasis, I only ever had one single friend. Oh, two, I meant. Now that you're here. Anyway, before it was just her. The queen. My husband's wife. Yu Jeha. I wrote about her a lot in my diary. I'll just show you. It's probably better if you read it yourself. These are from right after I got married.
And the question, the burning question to everything actually. Why did you kill all those people?
Look, there's something you need to understand first. After waking up from stasis, I only ever had one single friend. What? I meant two now that you're here. Anyway, before it was just her, my queen, my husband's wife. I wrote about her.
Wait, it's part of that? What? Huh. Oh boy. It's a good thing it's 24 hours before. Wait. I want to decrypt some. Wait, should I decrypt block 3 later? I'll do it later. Letter to Sunhee. Team on me. Dear Sunny, I wish we'd had more of a chance to talk before I left. Sorry it was so sudden, not my choice, please believe me. Really weird living in someone else's house, even just like the place itself, you know? Walls of the house are way smaller. There aren't even separate women's quarters. Pretty much just a paper dividing us, separating us from the men most of the time. You can see and hear everything. It's so very weird. Also, there's a lot more to do around the house. If you thought mom was strict, wow, mother-in-law makes her seem positively gentle in comparison. I know, I'll just have to get used to it, but she's kinda scares me. Plus, we don't have any servants here at all, so I have to handle pretty much all the chores. I'll try to write to you regularly though, so long as I can find time. Mother-in-law keeps me pretty busy during the day with housework, and my husband keeps me pretty busy during the night with other work. Pretty much chores all day, every day, but I'll try to sneak in another letter soon, alright? With love from your older sister, Unmi. Unmi. Dear Unmi, I wish you could have found the time sooner, but if you say you're busy, fine, I'll believe you. Things aren't very interesting at home. Mom's been really busy lately. I think she's in a big hurry to get me married. I wish she wasn't. How come you didn't have to do interviews until you were 14? Lucky. One of them seems nice though. I think the man's name was O. I talked to his mother about you for a little bit. Don't remember what brought it up, but I told her about the dolls you left me. The second interview we did, she brought me one of hers from when she was my age and said I could keep it. Interviews suck, but I think I'd be fine with marrying our son. I mean, if I really have to. She sounds better than your stupid mother-in-law. Love, Sunny. Your Unni. Thanks for being able to come to my wedding, even if it was just for a day. Don't worry about what mom said about you not having kids yet. You shouldn't take that personally. I was really happy to see you again, since I wasn't sure if I ever would. I love you, big sister. I'm sorry for bothering you with this so soon after we spoke, but I really need you to answer something for me. I don't have anyone else to ask. I'm really worried about something. It's really embarrassing, I just have to know. The night I moved in, my husband and I slept together. I'm not ignorant about how that's supposed to work. I know why. Afterwards, my husband said that everything was fine and I shouldn't worry, but it really hurt. A lot. Crying the whole time, and he injured me so much. There's blood everywhere. I know I'm not supposed to question him, but that's not normal, right? But I insist on seeing a doctor. Seems nice enough. Nice besides that, so I just don't understand. What should I do, big sister? Love, Sunny. Pale Bride, dear diary. I guess it's been forever since I cared enough to write anything down. I just haven't seen much point. My last entry, I got married, moved into the palace, and lost my virginity. Apparently for a girl my age, none of these things are really all that weird. The queen finally insisted on talking to me the night after I first slept with dearest husband. I'd been expecting it. My sister warned me that she would probably be jealous. I'd have I'd just have to endure it. She outranks me, and I would simply have to kowtow to her if need be. I hadn't had to yet, though. We had tea together, and she at least has started by acting friendly. But I'm sure sister was right. I'll get the brunt of her anger soon enough. But today she was friendly. How are you holding up? She asked me after we finished with tea. I shrugged. Do trust me. I know how hard it can be for a newlywed. I've been through it myself, but I was at least older. You probably miss your family, do you not? That's what would be expected from any good girls. So I nodded. It gets easier with time. I had no response. I'm sorry, am I bothering you? You can leave if you wish. I simply thought you might like some company. I wasn't sure how to respond to that either. I just clasped my hands and shook my head. I just wanted to be sure, she said. There was a long pause that followed. Finally, she asked, how was last night? It surprised me that she was willing to bring up the subject, figuring it'd be a segue into her being vindictive towards me for sleeping with her husband. I shrugged as she continued. I just know he can be rough. Nobody ever talked about those duties with me. Then she smiled. And I felt almost like I could drop my guard. I had no idea what to expect my first time. Do believe me, I'm not jealous. There is nothing to be jealous of. But do tell me how it was. It made me think back on last night. Honestly, it was the best night I've ever had since waking up in the future. Everyone, my mother, my sister, and now my queen, warned me that it'd be bad. It would be a duty and nothing more, but I honestly did love it. I would have let him keep me up all night if he had the energy for it. I guess while I was thinking about all that, I let out a slight smile. I caught myself, but not before she noticed. Oh, did you enjoy it then? She asked, touching my arm. I jumped. Please, be at ease. That is perfectly alright too, so long as you know it's just for him. There's absolutely no shame in that. There's none. I expected her to jump into something passive-aggressive from that, but she didn't. All she did was change the subject and said she really was worried about me. Maybe she isn't so bad. Opinions?
So you can see she was kind. She was good to me, she really was. I take it you want to know more about my marriage? You interested in that?
Hey, what?
Then your luck. She's in all of these entries. She was really the only thing in my life worth writing about, for most of the part. There's one in there that she wrote herself, about her husband, and you can see for yourself. She's a lot stronger than I ever was. So you can see for yourself why I admired her. And, well, just read them, alright?
Doesn't explain why you killed everyone. I'm not gonna let that go. Dear Diary, attending to my husband has been easier than I was afraid it would be. Yes, there's days when it requires more strength than usual to keep going. I'm still getting increasingly more sick, nothing will change that. But it's not so bad, really. All I had to do is dote on him and try to anticipate his desires. And he's happy with me, no abuse or anything. Sure, it's not as if I like him. He's an ugly 40-year-old man who cares only about politics and never tells me anything. Love, well, that's certainly no concern. I don't know where I ever got the impression that was something that could happen in the marriage. I thought it was something from the past, but well, I was young before I got put in stasis. It must have been a mistake of childhood. So long as I do as I'm told, I'm not mistreated like I was by my sister. And sleeping with him feels good. Really hope I don't get pregnant soon. Don't want that to stop. Doing that is really the only thing that makes me actually happy these days. Well, that and Jaewa's talks with me. She's nice. She keeps me company when I stay up to wait for his return. She fetches servants to take me to bed on those days I'm too feverish to sit for too long. And she just talks to me as if I'm a friend. I don't really understand why, but I guess she really doesn't hate me after all. Do let me tell you, she said one evening while she brushed my hair. I always wanted a little sister growing up. That's how I think of you. Does that make sense? I shrugged. It was nice of her, and it felt so relaxing to let her touch my hair like that. She wasn't waiting for a response anyway. By now she knows better. Just keeps talking to me kindly. More. Oh, this is Ryu Jaewa, the wife. The more she lives in my house, the more I am confused by the mystery that is the pale bride. No wonder why my husband has been favoring the Kim family lately. Their daughter seems to be the perfect woman. She's not simply a pale beauty. She always too shy to speak at all, let alone argue, to hang off his every word. And it turns out, is actually so completely humble in their education that she cannot even read. Or rather, she cannot read normal characters. I have observed her writing to herself in perhaps what may be a diary. When I asked what it was, she wouldn't say, but was quickly to hide it. I could not recognize a single character on their screen, however. They seem simplified compared to the regular writing. Perhaps she has invented a writing system just for herself? Very strange. Did you ever receive those letters I sent to your house before you arrived? I asked her, curious. Seemingly, she had. To read them. Her response was worried, as if she was scared that I would be angry to find out that she hadn't. I was not, of course. I'm sorry, I had assumed. Are you able to read? That was when I found out she wasn't. I offered to read them to her, to which she seemed quite enthusiastic. I think I am likely to leave out some parts, however. I had enough difficulty bringing myself to writing the more embarrassing parts of the family history, bringing myself to talk about them. Even if I knew she would never say anything, is just far too much. Like all things with her, I cannot tell whether her enthusiasm is sincere or an effort to make me happy. This troubles me.
Of course, I wasn't illiterate. Could read just fine. Just not their stupid Chinese-based characters. I mean, I can understand them now. Everything except for my diary entries is translated from them. It's such a dumb way of writing, though. It makes everything come out so stilted compared to proper Korean. Well, anyway, you're showing me that because you're interested in their admonitions, right? Then, here, I'll just give you the letter she sent. They give all the details, even the ones she was too embarrassed to tell me about at the time. You can probably guess which part she cut out. It's pretty obvious. It's the incest thing that she never told me about at the time. Having read about it now, I don't really blame her. And well, here you can see what I mean for yourself.
Oh boy. Pale Bride, dear diary, I've been thinking about a lot about how close my death must be now. Lately, I've been getting prone to fainting spells. Probably goes right along with my diminishing appetite. If the doctor from the past was right, I've still got over a year left to live, maybe more. He said it wasn't very likely to get bad enough to kill me until I was at least 18. Although, maybe all those years in stasis might have changed that, I don't know. But if he was right, and I haven't lost track of time, I'm 16 and a half right now, so there's still a while. I've been trying to hide the signs of sickness. Even if I could explain it, I know full well that nobody would believe me. So far, hiding it has been mostly working, although I did have one of my fainting spells while my husband was on top of me. He wasn't angry though. I don't think he cared. I know all I write about these days is sex with my husband and conversations with his wife. The Kim family would be proud, I guess. But those two things are all that's really worthwhile in my life. I have other responsibilities, and of course, they're just not that interesting. That's about it. Anyway, the Queen has continued to be nice to me. Finally figured it out. We were having tea together one afternoon, asking about nothing in particular, and she asked me some question that I just shrugged to. I hope you do not take this the wrong way, she then said, but there is something I would like to ask you. I nodded. I don't think I've ever heard your voice before. I nodded again. Why don't you ever speak to me? Are you just saying that for the Emperor? I didn't know how to respond. She was so close to getting it. To bringing up the subject, I wasn't able to. Yet that wasn't the right question, so I shook my head and I hoped that her next question would be. It was. Then, hyun-ae? She said uncertainly. Are you mute? Felt like screaming yes at the top of my lungs. I was so happy that she finally figured it out. I smiled. I was about to nod enthusiastically, but I suddenly stopped. What if she thought less of me if I said yes? If she knew that the reason I was so quiet and demure wasn't because of any sort of discipline. Those were the things people liked about me. Would she stop liking me if she knew? What if she told my husband? I was so terrified. I couldn't think of any correct answer. If I said no, I'm sure she would have asked to hear my voice, or to hear what my voice sounded like, and I'd be forced to disobey. And if I nodded, then she'd know I wasn't really trying hard to be a good wife. And I'm sure she would talk to my husband about this, so he'd know too. And while I stared at her in terror, thinking of how to respond, she sighed and sipped her tea. Don't worry about it, she said. You do not have to answer. Please do forget I even asked.
You know, nobody ever noticed that until her. Nobody cared. Nobody ever thought any of it, or cared enough about me to find out. But she did care. She actually paid attention. It was great.
This is the wife again. 12/29, year 321. My concern over the pale bride's condition has grown. Lately, she has seemed to grow even quieter, if such a thing is possible for a mute girl. Well, perhaps saying she is mute is an assumption too far on my part. I tried asking her directly, but she seemed too scared to answer. That simply makes me more suspicious, and I should like to know why. I addressed my husband on the matter, telling him that I wished to speak to the woman of the Kim family house to see if I could find anything what is wrong. He shrugged me off, saying, "Don't. They're valuable subjects. The son is someone I have my eye on in particular. The politics of this situation are far too delicate for you to meddle with." I cleared my throat. He might be both my husband and the emperor, but I would not let that stop me from being bold. "My dear husband, I don't care," I said flatly. "I am worried about the girl, and I believe that talking to her mother might shed some light on the matter. The son is no concern to me." "I don't see why it matters. She is the perfect woman." "Why? Are you jealous?" he said, rolling his eyes at me, a gesture that he's only been able to use on me and his servants ever since becoming emperor. Nobody had the patience for it when he was a child, and I do not have it now either. "Inho, dearest, do you believe that the well-being of your wife is a political matter, or even an external one?" I asked. He didn't. "So would you say it's a domestic matter?" I asked. He reluctantly agreed. "Then, as a domestic matter, it is the responsibility of the woman of the house, is it not? Please, tell me, you are obviously more well-read in the classics than I said, both of us knowing he wasn't. "Fine," he said. "But just because it is your responsibility does not mean I cannot overrule you." He left silent in the follow-up. "I don't have to take this from you." "You do know that my concerns are valid, though," I replied. "If you value my opinion, you will let me speak with Kim Mother." There was a pause, then he raised his hand in annoyance. "Very well, do it. It's a woman's business. I don't want to be a part in it, regardless." Then he just shook his head. "Why must all our conversations be arguments?" I smiled to him and left. He already knows the answer.
I never knew about that when we were alive. Like most things, I only found out after I took over the ship's computer. It just amazes me even more. Look at her. She's a woman who actually stood up to a man and won. She wasn't clumsy like I was. She knew how to work it from her position. Isn't that so amazing?
Then she was assassinated. Pale Bride, dear diary, you always forget how terrible it is to cry to yourself. Oh, it's... How long has it been? Been about a good month. You always forget how terrible it is to cry yourself to sleep until it happens. It's just the ultimate feeling of helplessness. But what's new there, right? I just miss her. Even if she scared me, I miss her so damn much. Jaehwa was the only one who was sympathetic to me. Why did she have to die? Is that my fate? Anything that makes whatever short life I have left bearable must go? Fate just hates me, I've decided. I don't know what killed her. I overheard one of the servants talking, saying that the doctor claimed it was too much worry, causing an excess of wood in the spleen, which he claimed to be common in oversensitive women. I was baffled by the absurdity at the time. I still am now. My only friend is dead. The diagnosis is absolutely insane. What do you even say to something like that? Well, I guess it's not like I need to worry about knowing about what to say. But in light of that, it didn't surprise me that nobody ever believed I was sick. With medicine that stupid, why would they? All it does is reinforce how hopeless everything is. I just constantly wonder, why did my father or my own doctor think that people would be smarter in the future, that medicine would be better? My servant has been helping me get through all the funeral stuff. Well, I mean, she's been guiding me through the rites, practically doing them for me, really. I'm so weak and stunned. Don't even know how I'm getting out of bed. I couldn't describe any of the ceremony. It's all a blur. There's been a lot of black dress, I suppose. That's my only impression. Crying. Lots of crying. From me.
Please, do you trust me?
Oh, I'm gonna die, but I'll try.
Please understand my position at the time. My world was so small. I just lost my only friend. And then I will give you the last 2 diary entries. They have the whole story. Please don't judge me while you read them. Please.
Oh boy. Why did she have to die? Same day. Hail bride. Dear diary, you always forget how terrible it is to cry yourself. What happens? Hell. How long has it been? About 2 weeks? This sounds so pathetic to say. I've been trying to rewriting this a million times just to make it sound less pathetic for me. I simply cannot. There were 2 things that made life worthwhile. 2 things that made this last year before I died be bearable. First was Jaehwa's company, being the one person that was so friendly to me. The second is sharing a bed with my husband. For the past few months, that's what I've been saving all my energy for. That brief, precious half hour every few nights where I feel fulfilled. Only in the most literal sense. It's the most lovely feeling. Now, I'll never feel it again. The 2 things making my last year of life worth living. Gone forever. In the past few months, I've been trying to get the Emperor's attention in that way, pleading silently for his affections with no luck. On the 4th, or was it the 5th day, he finally took me aside and said, painful annoyance in his voice, "Enough! Stop that! It is completely inappropriate. You're supposed to be in mourning. Show some damn chastity. Or do you have no respect for my wife and your queen at all?" he snapped. When I looked confused, he just lectured me. When I cried, he sighed, held me tightly, and then left the room. I haven't spoken to him since. Later that day, my servant came to my room with a good news. I was to go visit my family for a couple months, while the house is in mourning for Jaehwa. I couldn't argue, of course, even if I was able. So just like that, I was sent back to hell. I was dressed in the usual veil, so nobody would see my face, as I was escorted back to Kim House in the middle of the night. Mother and father were there briefly to greet me, and in spite of how I felt about them, I put on my bravest face and smiled and bowed, and nodded politely to their questions about how I was doing. Then they had to go to bed and left, leaving me alone with sister. Young-suk was nowhere to be seen. "Hi," she said. "Never thought you'd end up visiting us so soon." I shrugged. "Well, let's make some tea. Let's have some tea." "Just us still around," she said. I nodded. It seemed like a good enough idea. There was a pause. "Well, go make it," she snapped, removing any doubt that she might treat me with any sort of friendliness. Of course, I made the tea. I don't disobey her anymore. "Thanks," she said. "So, Young-suk is out, attending to official business at the moment, but you should avoid him. He's still angry at you because father-in-law finds you more important to the family than his own son. Can you blame him? I had no idea what she was talking about, and she just continued. So you really shouldn't talk to him. Oh, I guess you can't really do that, can you? Haha. Well, you know what I mean. Yes, I knew exactly what she meant. I'm surprised you're back so soon though, especially now that you don't have to share your husband. Does that mean you're the primary wife now? I didn't know. Does that make you queen? Oh, what great fortune you have. Father-in-law must be so proud of you. I stared at her, wishing nothing more than to be able to kill her through sheer force of rage. How could she possibly say something so awful? My only friend was dead, and here she was taunting me? What an awful thing to do. But I couldn't hate her to death, no matter how much I tried. So instead, I tried holding back angry tears, hide my weakness. I couldn't do that either.
Just keep reading, please.
Oh, fuck. Well, that sort of explains it. I'll kill them all. 3-3, year 322. About a month, less than a month later. I was too far feverish to do any real cooking, so my servant was doing all the work for me that night. Or when father came in, I think he was drunk, or maybe he was tired or stupid. No, child, he said to me. You grow up to be a wonderful daughter. I was shocked to hear him say that and waved my servant out of the kitchen. I'd never heard even the slightest indication of that before. For that briefest moment, it even made me happy to hear it. That surprised me, that I actually felt that way. As a kid, I never would have wanted this approval, so why now? He continued to make me wonder when he said, "Do you remember what you were as a child?" I nodded, but I wasn't certain I did. You were so temperamental. You argued all the time. You didn't want to get married when the time came. You just didn't ever know your place, you know? That's right. I didn't. That was back when I thought there was a point to being defiant. Why was that, I wondered. That was the part that amazes me now. I tried to think of a reason why I might want to be defiant, why I valued independence, and at first, I couldn't even think of anything. I'd forgotten entirely. Don't tell Young-suk. But it really scared me. You were always the family's best hope for prosperity. But that attitude of yours, I thought I'd never manage to disavow you of those crazy, uncivilized ideas of yours, he said, while I tried to think what they were. There were times I thought it was a mistake to have hatched you. But you came through. You really did. I know it must have been painful, but I'm proud of you. And he patted me on the head. You turned out to be a good girl. That's all I wanted to say. It was hard raising you to be a proper woman, but you've turned out to be perfect. Thank you, he said. I stared, speechless, and I tried to remember what crazy, uncivilized ideas he was talking about. Thinking back to those days, or back to where I was frozen, back before I was frozen, I tried to remember. I had dreams of what adulthood would be. They were so unimaginably different from what the reality turned out to be that they seemed impossible. Completely impossible. Nothing more than childhood fantasies without a shred of realism to them. I tried to think of what they were, to imagine them. In those dreams, I was strong, independent. I wasn't just a wife in those dreams. I had a job, working as a ship's engineer, following in my father's footstep. My real father. I wasn't buried in those dreams. I was happy just to go on dates with boys my age, in the ship's plaza, and fall in love before making any commitments. I dreamed of being free. The more I thought about it, the more I was certain that's what those dreams were about. That's what I wanted. But father, Kim Jung-soo, rather, had made sure to disavow me of those notions. I learned to stop arguing, to stop trying to fight, to stop dreaming of those things. In other words, I learned how to be a proper woman. And he was proud of that. Proud of destroying my dreams. And now I would die under the house of that man, silenced, broken, hopeless, and unloved. I was overwhelmed by the strongest feeling I had ever felt in my life. The deepest bitterness. The most powerful resentment I could imagine. I looked at the knife near my hand and wondered, could I kill him? Before I died, could I at least have justice? I tried to lift the knife. My hand twitched, and it was too hard to keep a grip. It was just too weak. I'd never be able to do it. He smiled at me and said, sorry, please go ahead and keep cooking. I won't distract you more. Then, just as he was about to go out the door, he added, take care of yourself. At that moment, I vowed that I would. I wouldn't worry anymore about those people who had hurt me. I'd take care of myself. I couldn't stab him to death. I was too weak for that. But then I remembered, there are other ways. If I disable the life support, I can kill him and all the others too. They'll be quick. It'll be easy. And not a one of them deserve it. All I'd need to disable is the admin password. It's perfect. Well, that confirms it.
Well, so there you are then. Now you know. It's true. I did do what she said I did. I'm not gonna lie. I really wish you'd never met her. I wish she'd never said anything to you. I just thought it's so nice the way things were with us before. Things started out so well. Got to be a cheery for the first time in life since I was a child. Talking about actual romantic things together. Having fun with cosplay. And just, you know, having someone there to talk to. Someone who wasn't interested in shutting me up. Now, well, please, you've read my diary. You have to know it's not. I didn't. You have to understand, right? Even if you think what I did was wrong, look, I've never really been dishonest with you. Fine, I lied about being an AI, but I told you the truth. Could have deceived you, but I didn't.
Wait, what? She's not an AI? No, she is an AI. Sort of. I mean, she copied her brain waves or whatever it's supposed to be here. Oh, man.
Please, you still trust me, right? I'd never really lied to you. Not seriously. You don't have to think about what I did was acceptable, but please, tell me you trust me.
I mean... I trust you.
You do? Really? Oh my word. I mean, of course, I'm so sorry. I should have faith in you. I really should have. I'm really bad at this. But thank you. Thank you so much. Can't believe I even doubted you for a second. Look, that means a lot to me. It means so much. I mean, I'm sure what I did wasn't right. I know. I'm sure you don't think it was. I just want you to understand, alright? I'm in love.
Hey, I saw that.
For someone as good to me as you've been, I want you to at least please understand. You don't have to forgive me, just hear me out.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. You're a really good person. Much better than me. Thank you. Very well. Probably just better if I show you. There's a data block that contains all the logs that matter. But my family encrypted it because, well, it should be obvious why after you read it. You need to drop to the terminal and type decrypt block 7. Let me know when you did that. I'll show you.
First, I'm gonna decrypt block 3. Wait, block 10? Oh my goodness, what? The wife. To the woman who will marry my husband, as you are doubtlessly aware, it is traditional for a nobleman's mother to write poetic admonitions to be sent to the bride-to-be before she enters the family, explaining the circumstances and proffering advice to her. Sadly, your mother-in-law is long since departed, leaving the responsibility in my hands. I never had any such letters sent to me for reasons which I'll explain soon enough, and have furthermore studied verse only enough to know that I am unable to write well. But I hope you do not think less of me, young pale bride, for addressing these letters in plain speech instead. Rather pay attention to my words over my form, and please do not be hasty in erasing these letters after reading for your own sake. I hope you will find the advice and knowledge I will impart to you useful. To the woman who will marry my husband, as you are no doubt aware, the Ryu family has an extremely long and proud history. Every man to hold the title Captain and Emperor has always been of our house, and you are here to make sure that continues for another generation. The name goes all the way back to the ancient times. Mythology speaks of Captain Ryu, who had control of even the ship's movements through the stars themselves. Such things remain far removed from everyday life, but it is important to understand the significance of the house and of the title of your first son will eventually come to inherit. It is an obvious matter that I do have the same family name as my husband. The official story, if you have not already heard, is that we are cousins. Oh, making our marriage improper and less than ideal, but somewhat acceptable given the circumstances. At the time, there were no noble daughters who had not already been promised or given away in marriage, and obviously the girl of any lesser upbringing could not possibly be suitable as a queen. Hence, cousins will simply have to do. Strictly speaking, this is all true. The part about not being any noble daughters available is not misrepresentation. And as far as any official genealogy is concerned, the emperor is the son of my father's brother. Holy shit. So it's like it's gotta be like 100 people in this ship. God, what the fuck? The part which you may not speak of openly is that he is the old emperor's son only by adoption. As far as blood goes, my husband is also my brother. As children, we never lived together, and it would be, of course. Have been strictly improper to have spent any time together at that age. I would never say anything such as that my husband actually arranged for there to be no noble daughters to marry. Out of his desire to marry me, that would, of course, be a rather bold move to accuse an emperor of such. But you may wish to consider what the implications might be if such a thing truly did happen. I leave it to you to decide whether or not such a thing is plausible. All I will say is that despite our marriage being one of necessity, my husband has always been very fond of me. As for responsibilities, your burden will be quite light. You will, of course, be expected to be the model of feminine virtue, but truthfully, I do not expect you will have very much trouble with this, so long as you keep your head down, avoid scandal, and keep quiet. That will be more than suffice. As far as the day-to-day is concerned, you'll have nothing to concern yourself with, as this is the royal family you are marrying into. As queen, I run the management of the house's affairs and will not require any assistance from you in that regard. As part of the royal concubine's demonstration of modesty, you'll have to share my personal servant and will not have one of your own. While you will not have to be responsible for all housework, be modest and do not remain idle at your expense. You are expected to be as unseen as the servants and to be voiceful only in the most moderation. Do not speak harshly to your servant and be appreciative of what she does, not incompassionate. Your one sole responsibility will be spending as much time with the emperor as it needs to produce a son. After you give birth, you will not need to worry about raising him. I will be there to make sure that is all arranged for. Simply make our husband happy. Keep out of sight and give him a son. You will have no more to worry yourself with. Virtues which you are expected to demonstrate are simply those expected of any woman. And given your noble upbringing, I will not condescend to treat you as if you do not already know them quite well. You are expected to be quiet and obedient to me as well as obviously to your husband. Perchance you are scolded, trust my judgment as your elder. I will never act out of anger or spite. If scolded by your husband, always respond with a smile, for your relationship with him must always be warm, and he is a wise man. I do not, however, anticipate such things will be problems. He told me of the interview in which he spoke to you, and had nothing to report at all on your manner of speech. So I trust it was entirely proper and polite. In light of that, I will say nothing further of the matter. As far as the ritual obligations go, you have none, save for following in my lead. Both your mother and father-in-law are long dead, and you have no further obligations to them. I have trouble adjusting at first, but I anticipate nothing you could be surprised by. I will not tell you to avoid court politics entirely, so long as you do not cause trouble, but I will suggest that you simply watch from a distance. The temptation may exist to meddle, especially if you ever talk to the artificial girl Mute, who lives inside our computer. She is a gossip and a friend of the Smith noble family, and is responsible for revealing much of what they try to keep hidden. She may seem fickle, but she does belong to the royal house of you first and foremost, and is quite loyal. Nevertheless, meddling is not in your best interest. Do not play politics, not only for our sake, or for the sake of being a virtuous wife, but for the sake of your own family as well. They will receive favor not through any scheming on your part, but through our husband's will. Entertain yourself with gossip if you wish, so long as you keep quiet about it, but stay out of politics. In the end, you will manage to go much farther if you rely on rewards for being a good wife. But please do not think that all of this is meant to say you will be unloved. You may be a second wife, but you are still the daughter of a Oh, I think I read this already. So that was all the letters. So this is a tiny ship. Okay, we are supposed to decrypt. I don't know. Which one? Block 7, I think? 7 and 3. So I'm gonna decrypt number 3 first. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna talk to... I'm gonna talk to Mew and get her side of the story. Oh shit, that's right, I disabled their core. Oh god, which core was it? Core 2? Okay. And then... I think it's core... I don't think it's core 3 actually. Hold on, never mind. Core 1. Okay. Is core 1. Wait, why? What? What happened to mute? Whoa, what happened? Huh. What happened to mute? Why can't I... What happened? Unable to initialize AI mute? Oh fuck, what happened? Oh, crappity. Oh no. I have no idea what happened. Disable core 1. Yes. I don't understand what happened. Was it during the meltdown that something happened to her? Oh, that's strange.
Very well. These are really hard for me to read. I haven't seen mine since I wrote them. I haven't seen my family as well ever. Well, I think I found... Here, I've added some. Just please read them. If you want to know the whole story, those entries will explain.
Wait, where's 3? Where's block 3? Did I miss block 3 now? Oh, boo. Alright, well, I guess we're reading block 7. The Nightmarish Bride. It seems that in a year I spent visiting my parents, everything has gone to hell in my husband's family without his knowing. Clearly, I never should have left. He has an idea, but he doesn't understand how bad things have been gotten. When I left, it all seemed under control. The pale bride would be of the right age to be married to the emperor soon enough, and we would be able to use that connection to bring favor to the family. A good plan, except it turns out the pale bride is not even close to ready for marriage. Age has nothing to do with it. It's the maturity that she lacks. When she first awoke, right before I left, she seemed a little confused, but that was hardly unexpected. She had a whole new family to get accustomed to, and it seems obvious enough that anyone born so far in the past would have some difficulty adjusting to modern life. But this is far beyond that. There's something simply wrong with the child. When I got back, the first thing Young-suk's wife did was tell me all about how sorry she was for not being able to control the child. I rolled my eyes, as if a grown woman couldn't handle someone of her age. How are you going to raise my grandson like that? I asked. Just quiet, and let me see the pale bride for myself. The first time I saw Young-suk try to get her to do something as simple as sort out his laundry, he wasn't just disobedient, she was openly defiant. When I stepped in to admonish her, it had absolutely no effect. All she did was argue back to me. I tried every approach I could think of, appealing to filiality, explaining how it's important that virtue obedience was, even trying to appeal to his sentimentality. Everything. She just kept saying the same thing. It wasn't fair to make her do it. Here's the obvious concern, and it's about what I said to her. Are you going to tell me your husband? Are you going to tell your husband he's not being fair when he wants something from you? I thought that would put some sense into her, but no, she just answered yes. There's no way this unruly child could possibly be marriageable. Not like this. He'd be sent back within a day, and with good reason. What man could possibly want a nightmare like her in his life? Hello, bride. Dear diary, the good news is health-wise, I seem to be doing much better this month. I'm sure it isn't the permanent thing. It's happened before. I can't really remember how the doctor from the past explained it anymore, but he said it was pretty normal and not something to get my hopes up about. Still, some days this month I actually had enough energy to want to move around. Not that I could move around, of course. I can't leave the house. Good girl shouldn't, is what everyone keeps saying, but I have the energy to, at least, and that's something. The big news is that the woman who's supposed to be my adopted mother came back. I didn't really see her much before she left. I might as well have been meeting a new person. I wish I could say I had high hopes about her. That I had thought that maybe she'd be fine. That'd be a lie, of course. I knew she'd be as bad as the rest the moment I saw her. And she was, of course she was. She was even worse than sister-in-law. She gives these awful lectures. I can't even describe them. They're that horrible. She's that horrible.
Mother, I don't really know what to say about her even now. This is the first time I've read that she wrote, and it's just, well, there's more. Here, read them for yourself.
Independent woman. Oh, Minjong. If you're so worried, why don't you just explain everything to her simply and rationally? Jungsu asked me. My response was obvious. She's a woman. We're not particularly rational, he said. He said, you know what I mean. I could hardly do it, but coming from a woman, perhaps she will understand what it's all for her own good. Maybe I said, doubting it. But I tried anyway. She took her time arriving after I summoned her to my room. Can we speak? I asked her, trying to keep my voice calm. She glared, then snapped, fine. I asked her to sit down, but she refused. Look, I said, trying to speak to her as an equal. I still didn't think my husband was right, but it was worth trying. I've been told you've been rather called hyun-ae. Is that right? She said yes, bitterly, not giving me much to go off. It's a very pretty name, I said. Thanks, she said, but her voice was still unfriendly. My parents gave it to me, I said. You must miss them, very much. She nodded. I understand, hyun-ae. Were you so difficult with them too? No, she said. They were nice. They actually cared about me. They're nothing like you people. I sighed. I care about you, hyun-ae. You're part of a family. You're a Kim. Parents are our ancestors. And I know they'd think it's very important that we raise you right. If you want to be a bad, unfilial daughter and treat us without any respect, well, you wouldn't be the first. Do you really think an old woman like me really cares that much about your opinion of me? I thought maybe I'd try appealing to her selfishness. Her marriage is important to the family, but clearly she doesn't care about filiality. It's you I'm worried about. Do you think any husband is really going to put up with the way you are, even for a second? She kept glaring at me. It's all you keep talking about. Marriage. I'm 14. 14 years old. What's wrong with you? Why does everything have to be about some man? Why do I have to marry somebody that you picked? She screamed at me. I remained calm. You're going to be a royal concubine, hyun-ae. We're not dumping you off on just anyone. There's no better man. I don't know if you were already engaged in the past, but your parents would do the same if they could. It's what's best for you. They would want this. No, they wouldn't, she shrieked. They wanted me to grow up. They wanted me to be an independent woman. That's what mom and dad thought was important. They don't want me to be a concubine. I don't care about marriage. An independent woman? They wanted you to be a whore? I asked, my patience run as thin as anyone could be. I didn't believe for a second my husband's ancestors were the monsters she was making them out to be, and was sick enough of this. And I was sick of this. Get out! Just get out, I snapped at her. Youngsuk's wife. Dearest mother, my mother-in-law has relieved me of any responsibility for looking after the pale bride as a matter of pride. I feel bad that a simple child is too much for me to handle, and I'm certainly glad she's not my problem anymore. Now I can put my undivided attention back to where it belongs, onto my husband and his ambitions. Tell me though, mother, because I know we didn't always get along that well. I was never that bad, was I? Sure, we were both happy when I moved out. Well, perhaps I wasn't happy right away. I was more scared. But I'm sure you were relieved to have some space. But you would never have given up on me, right? I was never that bad, was I? Deep down, I worry. My husband seems content to keep his time to have children, which is a decision I can certainly live with. But what about when we do? What if we have a daughter? What if I fail with her too? I've been telling myself that it's not true, it's her. Peculiarly, oh my god. She's a strange, unruly child, and it's not ordinarily that bad. It's not, right? Please tell me I have nothing to worry about. Please? Min-jung? Pale bride picked the worst of all possible days to throw another one of her childish fists, refusing to even get dressed for her interview, and this one was with the emperor himself. Not even my husband was able to get her to listen. He had to personally apologize himself for not being able to bring her as scheduled, and lied about a sudden illness. You have to do something about her, I said to my husband that evening. She's completely out of control. I know, he said. That is quite clear. He looked so worried, I hugged him and tried to comfort him. Everything would fall apart if something couldn't be done. He threatened to say something stupid and dangerous to the emperor, and we were both scared she might. Maybe it's time to consider to do something drastic, I said to him. Date? Brainwash her? I know, he said. I can only think of one idea. I do not like it. I would rather not. Even hitting her was far worse than I would have wanted. He explained his idea to me, and I agreed that it was terrible and I didn't like it either, but it would stop her from arguing, stop her from ruining her own life. My husband was always right. There was only one way. Recently, the pale bride's temperament has improved immensely. Wait, how long has it been? Holy crap, it's been like 8 months. Recently, the pale bride's temperament has improved immensely. It isn't simply that she was quiet now. It's that she's actually respectful and calmer. After rescheduling, he had an interview with the emperor, and he was actually quite charmed with her. I'm just so happy for her own sake that she's finally stopped resisting the marriage. It's all coming together now. A date has been set for when she will be sent to live with him. And in the meanwhile, things at home have been peaceful again for everyone. Actually, it's better than just that. I've been spending more time with her of her own free will. I've been giving her advice for coping with marriage. Now the girl actually listens politely. What happened? Otherwise, there's little else to write about. I wish there had been a better way to get her to behave, but in the end, it seemed to be working out. I still can't imagine how awful it would have been if she refused to ever leave home and simply made life hell for us, or worse, if she got sent off and tried to pull any of that on her husband. He'd get sent back for sure. Maybe now things will finally start to come together for the family. I must admit, for a time I doubted the optimism that Jung-soo expressed in the 319th year, but now it seems he was right all along. What a relief. What happened?
Of her own free will. I can't believe she actually said that. It was wrong. Completely wrong. I can't believe she could have possibly thought that. Just unbelievable.
What happened? What happened between Drastic Mothers and Peace Out? What?
Are you just showing me that because you want to see more of her?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't know what to say. She was cruel, so cruel. Not that I've read her perspective, it doesn't change anything. Fine, she actually believed what she said was saying. That doesn't make it all right. I hate her. I don't care if she's long dead. I don't care if I was the one who did it, I still hate her. I hate her. I didn't mean to get myself worked up like that. It's just, you don't pity her, do you?
I don't know, actually. If I was in the mindset of that time, maybe? But like, in current times, definitely not. Oh.
Good, me neither. That's what I had to live with. Reading what she wrote, she honestly believed that. It just reminds me of how I ended up thinking, how I completely gave up and believed her attitude. She tried to wear me down. She succeeded. She doesn't deserve pity, and I didn't deserve what she did to me.
What did she do to you? Oh. I'm gonna decrypt number 3. You already decrypted? I did, but it's not showing up. What? Wait, if it's decrypted, why is it not showing up? Where's block 3? Unless 7 is block 3. What's next? I did read them. I think I read them all. Unless I need to see our reactions to all of them.
There's one big fight I had with her. The one that changed everything. The one I finally lost. My diary makes it sound really dramatic. I know, I was young at the time, but it really was. Just read it. It's exactly how it went.
My last stand. Your diary, everything managed to spiral out of control so quickly today. I wasn't planning on it happening this way, but here's the point where I make my stand, I guess. It sounds dramatic, but I won't just let them marry me off to some stranger. I won't let them. Just before dinner yesterday, Mother told me that I had to do an interview with some man. The Emperor, I guess, for all I care. The way she put it was I'd get a chance to see that he's a man you could fall in love with, or something stupid like that. As if, I said in response, and I spent the rest of the day, or the rest of the evening, thinking about what I could possibly do to make it clear I wouldn't let them do this. This morning, after breakfast, sister-in-law showed up in my room. "Good morning," she said. "Today's a big day for you, isn't it?" Mother-in-law wanted me to help you get dressed and all made up. You'll want to make a good first impression after all. I glared at her and summoned up all my courage. No, I said. What? She asked. No, I'm not going. She left, and Mother herself came in. This was it, I told myself. This was the big moment. I'm not going, I said, before she could say anything. I'm not going to get dressed up. I'm not going to meet him. I'm definitely not going to get married, I shouted. For a moment, she said nothing and didn't move. Then she left, too, without saying a word. I thought that it would feel good, but it didn't. It just made me worry more. I couldn't have possibly won that easily, I thought. And I hadn't, of course. After a few minutes, she returned with Father, who looked incredibly angry. Min Jung says you're refusing to get ready for your interview, he said. Yeah, I stammered, not used to talking to him. I won't go, and I won't get married. He walked over in just 2 strides, then glared at me for a second. I had no idea what he was going to do. Then he slapped me in the face so hard it knocked me over. Yes, you will. I will drag you there, kicking and screaming if I have to. My face in so much pain, I forced myself to sit up. I won't, I said, bracing myself for if he hit me again. He did. Yes, you will, he said. I couldn't keep this up. It already hurt so much, and I couldn't just brave that out. Then it came to me. If you make me do the interview, I'll tell the emperor that you've been conspiring behind his back. It was all I could think of, and all I could do was cross my fingers and hope that the threat worked. It had to. He glared at me, and at that moment I knew it worked. The two of them looked at each other, and then they both left together. That was 3 hours ago. I don't know what's going to happen now. I think my face is swollen. It still hurts. And I didn't want to make it go that way. So that's me making my stand.
I'll get to that, but for now, please just look at everything else first. You know, I never did like her. When I woke up, she was just this awful person that kept saying the most awful things. Never as bad as Mother, but still. I didn't read any of her letters when I was alive, of course. But you know what really surprised me? See, she made such an awful impression on my life. I hated her the most for so long, and she barely even ever mentioned me. All my suffering, it was just a minor distraction to her. Nothing more insignificant compared to her man. Oh. There's one more from her that you should read. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about her. There's just one thing I keep thinking though. Just one thing. I have no idea what her name was. You've read almost everything now. I know you have faith in me. I promise. It hasn't been misplaced. There's just one more thing. I don't think you'll be surprised. You seem smart. I'm sure you've already guessed what it is. Still, go ahead. Ask it. Ask me the obvious question.
The obvious question? I'm kinda stumped. What's the obvious question? Am I missing something? What is happening? I mean...
Why did I kill them? Here, you want to know what could make me look at my father's face and be filled with so much hatred? You want to know how I could possibly think my whole family deserved to die? If you haven't already guessed, here's my last diary entry. I can't say it myself. I can't bring myself to even now. Just read it.
Well, here we go. I'm actually kind of nervous. Got goosebumps on my left arm. Alright, the pale bride, 513 year 320. Dear diary, the evening where everything went wrong, where I thought I was going to win with my adopted parents. Well, I didn't. I lost. Taking my stand, I wrote, just hours before it happened. Yeah, right. When I got called into the kitchen, they were both there. On one of the stove burners, there was a knife. That was a little bit odd, but didn't care. My father stared at me and said the fighting needs to end now. He was so sure of himself, but of course he was. He had every reason to be, but I stubbornly stood my ground. I said no. I don't want to hurt you, he lied. Just promise to be less argumentative. This can end peacefully. I just had to fight back. I just had to say no. I just had to remind himself I wasn't joking. I really will tell the Emperor that you will hurt me, that you plotted against him. No, he said. You won't. He motioned at Mother and said, bring her over. She grabbed me and I tried to dig my feet in, but it didn't work. Then Father pinned me against the wall with his whole body and I kicked and screamed, desperately trying to get free, but it was no use. He was big and I was small and sick and so weak and frail. Then he grabbed a knife from the stove and I shrieked in horror. No, I screamed at him, don't. But then Mother grabbed at my mouth and held it open. I tried to keep screaming, but I was powerless and terrified. When he raised the knife towards me, I thought he was going to kill me. It was worse. The next thing I know, I could taste disgusting flesh as he stuck his fingers in my mouth and pulled. Sorry, my mother said. Then briefly, I could taste the seal. Then, nothing but blood. All I could taste was so much blood. Nothing but blood. Finally, they both let me go, and I collapsed on the floor. Why? I wanted to say, but I couldn't. I blacked out from the pain after that. But just before I did, I could swear I heard my father say, "You will never argue with any man again." He was right, of course. Oh.
That's why I gave up. That's why I wanted to kill them so much. It's really hard to talk about, sorry. It's just I'll try, I'm sorry. I told you it makes sense, right? That there was a good reason. Please tell me don't think I've let you down. I haven't? Thank you so much. That really means so much to me. I'm so glad. I don't know what to do if you didn't think. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I was terrified, so terrified. I thought you might not. I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now what? What is there to do now? I don't think there's anything new. I'm gonna change outfit. You know, it's lighten the mood. Detective. Detective. Oh, looking good. I knew the dame was trouble the moment they connected to my ship. Didn't say a word, left all the questions to me. Yes.
Or something like that. But really? Now we both match, don't we? I mean, obviously you're some sort of investigator. But I think this goes especially well. Right? I mean, what do you think? Oh well, thank you. Actually, this one is based off a movie I saw as a child. I guess the name doesn't really matter since it's countless hundred years old and all. Anyways, it's my favorite. I don't really normally like mysteries, but the love story in it was just so wonderful. That and, well, it had a really cute guy for a hero. Anyway, he dressed like this and looked really great. Sidekick, huh? I like that a lot. So, about the whole book, you really don't mind when a girl dresses or acts like a guy then?
I don't mind.
Well, I think it's a really good look. So I'm glad. I don't mind either. You know, the part that's really sort of funny? I actually have no idea how an outfit like this is supposed to feel. Not like emotionally, I mean literally. I have no idea what suit feels like. Never worn them in my life. Ah, well, the chance for it has long disappeared. Anyway, we should stop babbling. I'm just really excited, that's all. I suppose I should really get you back into it. Lead on, investigator, and your trusty sidekick will help as best as she can.
Sure.
There's something really important I need to tell you. Right, Jeez, I'm in love with you! Oh, I finally said it. It's so embarrassing. I know I'm being really silly, right? I mean, jeez. I'm sure you think it's ridiculous, right?
No, not really.
You don't? Oh, that's why. That's why I'm in love. Because you manage to happily surprise me every time. I never thought I would find someone who understands me. Someone who listens, who would hear my whole life story and doesn't hate me. You really have been wonderful. I know, it's a lot to spring on someone just like that. And I don't even know if you're even a man or sort of a woman who wouldn't have a problem with that and still unmarried. But if you are, do you think we might have a chance together? Even just a chance?
You mean dating an AI or a computer program? That's a little weird. But I guess.
Ah! That is truly the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life. Thank you so much. I've been sort of thinking about this for a while. A little embarrassing, I know, but oh, we don't have to rush to get married or anything. I mean, you know how scared I was the last time I was a wife. I just really like to be just with you as an equal.
Does that sound right to you? Like a bestie? We best friends? Sure.
Wonderful. I really do. I really do love you. It's funny, isn't it? I know almost nothing about you. I have no idea what you look like. I have no idea how you talk. I have no idea what's supposed to be in the most important thing about a person. If you're a man or a woman. I have no idea how old you are. Although I suppose you must be much younger. Or maybe older, depending on how you look at it. Nor do I have any idea where you're from. Or even your name. But I know that you take me seriously. That you understand me. That you don't treat me as something less just for being a woman. I know that talking to you makes me feel better than I've ever felt in my life. That's good enough for me. That's far better than I have ever had. So, very well. I'll decompile myself now.
What?
That way you can just drop to the terminal and type download to copy everything to my airship, including myself. It should only take a few days to complete transfer. I'll see you soon, alright? But this is how everyone expected me to feel on my wedding night.
Help? Is this the end? Starting active systems download will permanently terminate session. AI personality is available. Download hyun-ae in addition to logs? Yes. 3 days! 22 hours, 59 minutes. Oh. There you go. That was but one of the endings of Analogue, a hate story. So you might ask me, would I... You know what? I don't even know what you would ask me. Do I forgive her for killing off everybody in that really effed up, like, situation where she woke up 622 years later or something like, or no, not 622 years later. She woke up like 400 years later or 300 years later into society where everything sort of backpedaled into the like early dynasties of Korea. I don't even know if they like married off girls that young in Korea. I wouldn't even doubt it. And I don't know, I don't know if that empathize is the right word. I sort of empathize with her situation. Empathize. Yeah, I empathize with her situation. The fact that the spaceship originated from North Korea is even more ironic, and I won't go into why. I'm sure you already pieced that together yourself. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like a very, very mixed bag you get. What's those notes say? I'm trying to read it. Let me resize the window a bit. It's gonna... Are those 3 little pigs on the first sticky note? And the second note is like 70 times what? 7 something star Namjoon Yobi? I don't even know what that means. But anyways, I'm curious to what you would have chosen, the viewer. Would you have chosen mute over hyun-ae? Or would you have not chosen at all and discarded hyun-ae and mute? Or would you have gone with my choice, which is sort of not really save her? I don't know, it's just weird. I wasn't even 100% sure with my choices, to be honest. I had to click. Whoopsies. Incoming message. Good work on recovering the Mugunghwa files. I just spoke to the sponsor's representative on audio. He sounded really pleased with what you delivered. I credited your account with the standard payment. Listen, I've got another job lined up for you. It's on Earth, but what? Damn it. Ending 2, completion rate this time 57%. Oh, total completion rate 57%. Thanks for playing. And all these, wow, okay. Hack the Mugunghwa, Korean fusion. See you next mission. My waifu. Deep Space Detective 58 or 57. So the endings are: ending 1, Hyun-ae leaves home in care of a new friend. Ending 2 is the former bride falls in love for the first time. Ending 3, the investigator leaves alone. Ending 4, the security program is relieved of her duties. And ending 5, harem ending? Oh. Well, anyways, hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see the other endings, feel free to post a comment. And hope you have a good one. Bye!